or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope. Don't miss out on anything. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media.
Sports 56 would like to recognize local businesses that are out there still feeding and providing for the community via curbside pickup. Let's support local business with your business. These local businesses include East Memphis Ace Hardware, The Butcher Shop, El Toro Loco on Kirby, Bartlett Small Engines, Spirit Shop Liquor Store, Fiveash Roofing, Tactical Guns and Ammo, and Wolf Chase Lemon Brace. Sports 56 appreciates the support of local businesses always, but especially during this time. Thank you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Hey! Oh! What up? It's don't tell me. Wait a second. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't. I know you can. I knew that. I would tell you if I could, but I don't know, so I can't.
Well, I'm going to say Friday. I think it's a Friday. I feel like we got that going for us. Because, big weekend coming up. Kids are going to be out of school and, work. And it's a big weekend. All the plans. Everything's popping off is what I'm told. This weekend is going to be crazy. There's going to be, Netflix and also Hulu apparently this weekend and maybe Amazon Prime Video. And also, some people got Sling. That's exciting. That's new.
Don't forget YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, of course. WWE Network. You're gonna go back. That's so. What the guns are all blazing. Gonna be movie night.
Movie afternoon. Movie morning.
Movie morning. Movie overnight. It's what. Hey, we're getting through this. We're getting through this. You know what I mean?
Are you pacing yourself through any of this? Because we are now pacing ourselves.
What do you mean by that? By the way, I'm Peter. He's CJ.
Hey, everybody. We started to do initially right at the start of this when we didn't realize how long we'd be in quarantine. My quarantine boo and I decided we were going to go back through and watch all of the Marvel movies. And so the first weekend we watched like 7 of them. Bow, knocked them out. And then the next weekend we watched like 4 more. Bow. And then it's like, oh, we're going to be here for a while. We'll watch 1 a weekend. And let's stretch this out as long as humanly possible. Otherwise, we're going to run out of stuff to watch.
It's a fair point. You do have to kind of you got to figure out some way to do that. But the problem is like you don't know all the specifics and it's hard not to just go ahead and go crazy with it. I mean, you can't. My issue is you have to set an intention. You have to set a goal. Because there's so much content out there that it's overwhelming. I know for me, I have, paralysis by analysis. Like I'll sit there and scroll through Netflix. The number one show on Netflix is me scrolling through Netflix for about 45 minutes before I figure anything out.
Who the hell decided to give the Big Show a show?
I don't know, but I see it. I'm like, oh, there it is. How about that? But I never end up like watching because I'm like, I want to see that. That's gonna be great. But what about this? Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I want to see that too. Oh, but this one, yeah. And then by the time it's over and done with, like, I swallowed wrong. Don't panic. Every time there's a cough, you swallow wrong or anything like that. I walked in today and Mr. Norris is. I'm like, oh, geez, here we go. Here it is.
All right, I thought it had got you.
No, I swallowed wrong. I got a little indigestion from last night's kind of little acid reflux, from overnight.
Okay.
So kind of got a little.
All right, you were making a point, but I really want to know what you had for dinner last night.
Last night was my wife brought home some takeout that was delicious.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice little things.
Yeah, it was. But I made a big thing of pasta. Late last week that we've been eating on for like a while. Big old massive, like I have this restaurant style stock pot where I'll fill that thing up with my recipe has calls for basically 4 or 5 pounds of meat, 4 or 5 pounds of this, 4 or 5. I mean, like we'll eat on it for weeks. So sometimes give it away. Sometimes you freeze it. And now my kids actually like it, so now it doesn't last quite as long because we eat several meals off of it. But yeah, you can eat 20 meals off of it. It's not a bad way to go. It's good too. FYI, I can make so my recipe. Maybe not the only one, but one of the only recipes I can make totally mental mind. I don't have nothing's written down. I just know it. I was like that.
Does it have a fancy name?
No.
Oh, you got to name it.
No, I don't. Just name my sauce. That's all. That's how it's known. You want to make some sauce? Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Just the sauce.
Just sauce.
I got you.
That's it. Just make some sauce. Yeah. You make some sauce. Yeah. Everybody knows what it is. We don't have to.
That's the best name.
Don't have to specify.
Kids are gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, you gotta give me that sauce recipe.
That's
I gotta
it.
get that sauce."
Yeah. I'm gonna say, y'all shut up. All y'all shut up. So, I agree with you. It's I have no idea what to pick. I don't know. You have to set an intention on that. To answer your question about like pacing yourself over quarantine, you have to set like a goal. You have to set like a bunch of like a list, like, and then go through it, meticulously, or pick an old show that has a lot of episodes that's going to take a while to binge through, no matter what you do. That would be my recommendation to everybody out there.
Take a chance. Watch something that you wouldn't normally watch.
Now,
it might be bad, but you might find a gem there.
Do you watch? Would you sit down and watch an old game, like an old sporting event in its entirety?
If it was one that was important to me, yes, sure. I wouldn't sit down and watch like Chris Webber's timeout. I'm not watching that.
I don't want to watch any full sporting event. Even I've determined, based on my quarantine habits, even amongst teams I really like, I don't really like to go back and watch the whole thing again.
So you don't want to watch that Arkansas Tennessee SEC championship game?
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to watch. I would watch for a little while for nostalgia purposes, to go back and sample like what the broadcast was like, what the commentators were like, what the scene, some of the names. I would watch an extended highlight package. Certainly, you give me like the best 30 minutes of the game or something like that. I'm there. I'm all there. Maybe even an hour, maybe, but that's about it. Like I'm not gonna spend 3 hours again watching. I just can't. Even because there's sports. Sports is about live drama. That's the whole point. You watch it because you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know how it's going to happen. And then you may want to go back and rewatch a little. But that's why ESPN Classic didn't really last it had to kind of reshape itself as some other stuff. Like you had to kind of change the nature of it, and you had more documentaries or more other content or that kind of thing, 30 for 30s and stuff, rather than just re-airing games. Because now, as I said before, like if you want to re-air games, then I'm okay with it as long as you re-air it with like a director's cut, like commentary or an extra, some kind of a value-added proposition to it, where you bring a coach or bring one of the players or some other analyst on into the mix to add like some context to it. That's great. I would watch that for sure. But this is not an entertainment product. It's not, or to me, it's not. It's not like a movie where you can rewatch, over and over and over. It just no. I mean, there's a lot of mundane stuff that we put up with in sports because it's happening live, and we're using that to kind of prepare ourselves for whatever the next big thing is. Oh, geez, did you sneeze? Oh God.
Yeah,
oh,
I sneezed.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
Stay over there.
I'll do my best.
What's wrong with you, man?
You're coughing over here. You gave it to me.
No, I coughed once because I swallowed wrong.
I sneezed once because something tickled my nostrils.
The amount of droplets that you just spewed into the area. I know it doesn't catch all of it. The arm is not infallible. The crook of your elbow is not infallible.
Mine is.
No, it's not.
It's impermeable.
You're basically an epidemiologist, CJ. You know.
Basically, yes.
Basically, yes.
Basically,
yes.
I've taken immunology a couple of times.
Yeah, basically, you understand how this works. Those droplets that you just spewed out they're all over the place in there. If I could put like a black light in there and just show all just whatever the nonsense is in there.
Please don't put a black light in here. Please don't.
Oh. All right. So, in any event, I got good news and bad news. The good news is that we're going to do a great show and we're going to have lots of fun for the next 3 hours or so. Bad news is we're going to have to do that without Adam Kramer. Kramer's not joining us today. He's got but he's got a good excuse. It's an excused absence today. Kramer is having to homeschool his kids, and so he's got a tele-learning appointment that has to be done at that time. So we're gonna give him an excuse to absence for this week. We had a discussion about it last night, and he and I he's asked for and he's put in the proper paperwork for the excuse, and I've approved it. It's okay.
He has a what now?
A tele-learning appointment because of his
with the teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or some class situation. I don't know exactly how everyone's doing it, but something to that effect.
Hats off to him for attending one of those. My wife set one of those things up earlier this week, and nobody showed up.
What?
Yeah.
How big is the class?
28.
Nobody? Out of 28?
Nobody.
No response?
Nobody showed up.
Did people say they were going to show up?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's odd, though, because she's out in Fayette County, which isn't, one of the wealthier places to be. So access to computers, access to the phone. A lot of the kids are staying with grandparents who don't have internet while the parents go get this bread, go to work. So, I mean, she thought she was going to get 5 or 6 at least, and they're like, nah, don't worry about it. We're not going to show up.
I mean, I did one with my daughter. Your wife teaches kindergarten, right?
Fourth.
Oh, fourth kindergarten?
Fourth kindergarten,
Fourth
yes.
kindergarten.
Fourth kindergarten.
Okay.
The senior experiencers. Senior morningsers.
That's right.
Yes.
Those are more the senior morningsers. Man. Well, we the kindergarten, my kindergarten, my daughter's kindergarten teacher is set these things up, and I've done the 2 of them, and they've gone, okay. Like it's weird. My daughter doesn't quite understand what's going on exactly, but as far as the video conferencing aspect, she's still not quite sure where the camera is, what to do. But we're getting there. But it's been nice for her to at least see that stuff, because it looks like none of these schools are going to be coming back before August at the earliest now, because everyone is pretty much done for the year. So as we talked about yesterday with Angela Hamlin Kelly, there is an amount of grief and mourning that comes along with that. It's difficult, so we all kind of do the best we can to figure it out. But some of these kids are missing school probably in a way that they never expected, because the alternative is now what you're seeing, which is you're at home and God knows what's happening there. Hopefully there's good stuff. But even I know for us, as we have been working really hard to try to homeschool and do the best we can with that, it's tricky. We're not teachers. I'm not a teacher. I'm not particularly patient. There's a lot of other stuff going on top of that you're trying to do. Trying to diversify the curriculum and make it somewhat fun, but also make it different kind of,
So are you teaching new concepts or reinforcing?
No, I'm teaching new concepts.
Oh, you are like above and beyond here. Okay.
I'm trying to go through what their lesson plan would have been, and we're learning prefixes and suffixes and stuff like that. Digraphs and blends and diphthongs.
Oh, let me see that diphthong. Okay, I see you. Go ahead.
That's the title of my new album, is Blends and Diphthongs. Blends and diphthongs. Blends and diphthongs. Blends and diphthongs. And consonant sounds. Because you got to blend is like your 2 consonants together that create one sound, but the diphthong is 2 vowels. Well, the first one does the one does the walking and one does the talking. That's the way you teach the kids. Only one of the vowel sounds does the talking.
Was I supposed to learn this at some point in time?
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the diphthong receive. The E is the one doing the walking. Okay. Yeah. No.
One's doing walking, one's doing the talking. Rain. The word rain. RAIN. The AI is a diphthong because it's just the A sound. It's not rain. That's it. Just makes one sound.
Yeah, I don't like it. Hats off to you for trying to teach this.
There's lots of others. It's just what it is. Prefixes, suffixes. I love words, CJ. You know that. That's one of my things. I do love words.
You are a wordsmith.
I do love words, so that's good. I like teaching words, but when it gets into like the math and they do the Common Core math and all that, I got nothing. They teach math in a real weird way. I don't know what the hell we're doing with this Common Core business. I don't get it. Back in my day, we just learned our times tables. That's it. What's 8 times 5 is 40. Why is it 40? That's what it is. I told you it's 40. I mean, it's 8 5 times, but is there any other way to do it? No, you just learn what it is. 9 times 9, 81, done. What is it? We had a big like a table where it's literally a times table. Like what's 9 times 9 is 81, and 9 times 8 72. It's like learn it and you're done. That's easy. Boom. But now they got all this other like, okay, now add now put this thing together, then add, now that becomes 40, then add the 9 at the end. What? No. Breaking it down to these weird, no. There's going to be a lot of kids that were learning Common Core that these last 2 months are now just like, hey, look, kids, shut up. Learn your times tables. I don't want to hear it.
One of the phone calls I overheard my wife on with a parent. This is like, yes, I know Common Core is hard. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. As long as he can get the right answer, we're good to go. Just however you want to get him there, as long as he gets the right answer, we are fine. She's been telling parents not to try and teach new things, like just reinforce some of the stuff they've already learned.
Well, the thing is, I felt like, if we were out for like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, then fine, I would just reinforce and be done with it. But like at some point, because we're going to be out for what will essentially be the last 2 months of the school year, I feel like you got to have something new. We can't just be, I got to bring them something new to the table. The tricky part is I have a second grader and I have a kindergartner, and I only have one school day. I can't teach. I'm one person, my wife or I, or we're doing the teaching. So you only have one of us because the other one is working. So then how do you teach two different grade levels? Not only are you teaching, different concepts, but you're trying to teach two different grade levels simultaneously. It's not easy.
I don't know how we used to do it back in the day with the school marms and
No,
stuff
I
like
know.
that. I think they would rely on the older kids to go down and teach some of the younger kids, but you don't have a 13 or 14-year-old lying around, do you?
No.
Like Secret Family,
No,
nothing like
I
that?
don't-
Okay.
No.
If I had one, I'd lend it to you.
Yeah.
Or lend him or her to you.
Well, I mean, again, we're doing the whole, quarantine thing, so I can't just be bringing in a bunch of new people to the mix.
I mean, you could have taken my 14-year-old and just quarantined in the garage for 14 days,
Okay.
and then that 14-year-old
Then you're
would
good to
be,
go.
and you're good to go because now you got an extra set of hands.
I just think, I think ultimately, it's, I mean, you kind of have to like keep your mental, you got to keep your mind right. If anyone's got any advice on this, I would love to hear it. At 67129 on the text line, 67129 on the text line, 360-8255. Because I think we're all struggling with a lot of the same stuff, which is that you have to figure this thing out. You got to do all this. You got work. You got regular work to do on top of, this other thing that you're doing. You're trying to help. And your teachers, like, I mean, my kids' teachers have been great as far as providing information and help to whatever degree they can, but it's not the same. You can't, so you're trying to make sure your kids don't fall behind and all that. But I don't know. It's just very strange. I never thought this whole thing is so strange. It's such a weird, difficult, crazy thing. You never anticipated that it would be like this. It just never. I don't know. No one can. Not only do you not expect a pandemic period, but you also don't then think about what that means in actuality. You told me 6 months ago you're going to be living through a pandemic. Like, what? What are you talking about? Huh? Well, here we are. Life's weird, man. I don't know. The old saying, you make, men plan and God laughs. Like, it's never been more accurate than that, than now. Any of your long-term plans about what you were going to do, your vacation plans, your all this, nope, forget about all that.
We were gonna go to a water park this summer.
I know.
Oh,
I know. We had all kinds of plans, man. Had it all set up. We had a whole thing. Had multiple different plans and, 2 or 3 different trips. Ain't gonna happen now. So that sucks. What are you gonna do? On top of that, Jalen Green is not coming to Memphis or anywhere else in college basketball for that matter. And the way that it's gone down is really interesting too. We're going to talk about that on the other side, because it's we were kind of speculating yesterday about what the whole program, what it would look like, what would be happening, and as it turns out, it's a really fascinating turn of events that's going to have a lot of ramifications on college sports, and it's going to be potentially a game changer for college basketball. We'll see. Certainly on the highest end with those those types of prospects, I think that it could very well be a game changer. We'll discuss what that means and more when we continue. Peter and CJ with you. Sports 56 mornings on what I'm pretty sure is a Friday. Getting ready for the weekend, baby. Whatever that means. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, president of Flynn Broadcasting. On behalf of everyone associated with Flynn Broadcasting, we want to wish you good health, especially in this coronavirus situation. You can be the hero. All you have to do is practice social distancing. That's right, 6 feet away from other people, and you'll be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Also, if you feel ill and have a cough or fever, get tested so you'll know if you have coronavirus or not. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting. We'll keep you connected while you maintain your physical social distance. So keep listening to this Flynn Broadcasting station because we're in this fight with you and we're going to help you stay connected.
Eat well and stay healthy with Sweetgrass Next Door's to-go and delivery service. From shrimp and grits to pork chops to chocolate chip cookies and more, feed your need. Located in the heart of Cooper Young Midtown, Sweetgrass Next Door makes for an easy to-go, pickup, and delivers to all of Midtown, most of downtown, and even East Memphis locations. For more information, visit online, sweetgrassmemphis.com, or call 901-278-0278 to place your order today. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
This is Eli Savoy from Sports 56 Middays. During this coronavirus pandemic, many of us are spending all day at home, and we remind you that you can stay in touch and connected through Sports 56. We're here live and local every day, keeping you informed and entertained as we all try our best to get through this healthy and safe. So turn us on your radio, computer, phone, or smart speaker and keep practicing social distancing. Stay home, stay informed, and stay entertained with Sports 56 and sports56whbq.com.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
This is Peter Edmiston from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, all of us at Sports 56 urge you to please stay home, practice social distancing, and wash your hands often. While you're home, stay connected with Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, phone, computer, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. This is a tough time for everyone, but we will get through it if we all do our part. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and sports56whbq.com.
Hi, I'm Troy 5 owner of 5 Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. 5 Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. 5 Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Don't be pointing at me. Just let me dance over here for a little bit. Funk Friday. Funk Fridays.
Saw Uncle Charlie do this song at the Beale Street Music Fest last year. Oh, so good.
Now you're making me sad again.
I'm sorry. All I got are the memories, Peter.
I know. Memories, that's all you can do.
You know, one of the weird things that I do now when watching TV and watching movies, freak out because people aren't 6 feet apart.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. Like, hey, wait. Why are they so close? Oh, wait. This was in 2012. They could be that close.
It makes me think about how lucky we've been that none of this has happened before, because we touch a lot as a society. We're very touchy-feely. And people that were, the pre-social distancers, the germaphobes out there, they maybe they were right. Maybe they were doing it right. Maybe the Howie Mandel's of the world that were, out there shaving their body hair completely and not touching anyone and only fist bumping and all that stuff, if any contact at all. Maybe that was the right way to go. I think handshakes might be it. I think we might be done with handshakes, CJ. I think that might be it. I think handshakes. I think bro hugs. I think we're done with it.
I don't know. I got a list of people to bro hug when this.
I know.
I don't know.
I know, but I think we're done. I think we're done with it. The amount of germs that spread on a bro hug is immense. A fist bump. 1/20th of the germs pass from a fist bump as a handshake. So that, I mean, that's a
random people I can see. Like, yeah, I could be done with handshakes of, like, when you meet somebody new, just like, nah, hey, don't touch me. Mm-hmm. But I've got friends and people close to me is like, hey, we are going to meet here, and you're going to run in my arms, and you're going to get the biggest bear hug you can possibly get.
I mean,
and I may start greeting family members with hugs. We don't hug a lot in my family. They may start coming, though.
I mean, maybe if we all disinfect, I could hug. If we put on some personal,
like a hazmat suit. Okay,
yeah, I think it'd be fine. I could definitely hug at that point. Hug it out. Handshakes with gloves and stuff. Sure, that'd be great. The touch of another random human, no, nope.
Like, how are we gonna handle working out? Going to gym where everybody's sweating. What's going to happen there?
I think that's an excellent question. That's going to be that thing's going to have to be sanitized in a way that it has never been sanitized before. People, not wiping down the equipment is going to be the least of your worries, because there's no way you could wipe it down enough to satisfy the actual. I mean, honestly, like we've all everyone's been neglectful of surfaces, just pretty much in general. So now we're now keenly aware of how dangerously we were living.
Caught a finger infection from being at a gym, and bars weren't properly wiped off.
The MRSA is a real deal.
It got in there in the nail bed and infected the finger.
Staph infection, man. All that stuff is rough. You can't be ringworm. People getting some of that.
That seems like so long ago. I bet ringworm cases have dropped significantly.
I would hope so. But yeah. I mean, people rolling around like that's a big MMA fight thing, because people are rolling around these mats and not sanitizing them. And I don't know. I think that's another challenge. This whole thing. They're gonna have to figure out ways to ensure that people are in cleanliness and all that stuff. I mean, going out to restaurants and stuff is it's going to be different. I think it's still going to happen, but it's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. Are you going to be super comfortable, going to a concert and just cramming in like the way we would just cram in? You go to the Beale Street Music Fest and it's you and 20,000 of your closest friends all just chilling and hanging out, everyone coughing and God knows what's happening on each other, and yeah. I mean, that doesn't feel comfortable, right?
Not at all. That was before the pandemic popped off.
But you're like, this is the only way you can do it. You got to go to these shows. You got to crowd in there. Everyone. No. So I think that it's going to change. Yeah, it's going to be a cultural. There's going to be a cultural change for sure, because this thing is going to be in waves. I mean, it's a waves deal. It'll be the wave 1. Hopefully, we are getting to the cresting and receding point. There's some data that sort of leads you to think that might be the case. But without a vaccine, without testing, without the serological analysis to figure out, who's got antibodies, does the presence of antibodies mean that you are in fact, immune at that point or not? I mean, it could be that there are some competing discussions about whether you are actually, unable to get it again. Some people have gotten it again, apparently. So, immunologically speaking, like, is that a thing, or is it limited immunity, or is it does it last a while? Is it like a kind of a 6 to 9 month thing where you're not sick, or is it like a years and years and years kind of thing, like chicken pox and all that stuff, where you get it as a kid, but then you're good to go for a while. We don't know. Obviously, that we don't. Time is the only thing that will be absolutely certain to tell you that whole deal. And there's many questions about that. We need the, that's the serology aspect of it that we don't have. But we also don't have a whole bunch of testing. Although there is some free testing this weekend, right, CJ? Is that's my understanding?
My understanding is this weekend.
That
you got it by appointment.
It's an appointment, but it's free, and you do not have to be symptomatic to get the test. Although I would say, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm of two minds here. Like, number one, I think it's better to have as much testing as possible. So that's great. I'm glad that there's more testing available. There is still an issue, though, finding testing for people who probably need it at this stage. And they can't really get it. A lot of people can't get it, even if they need it, even if they're symptomatic, even if they're having trouble getting tested. So I kind of feel like that those people should be given some sort of priority in this whole thing. Or, CJ, I feel like, as a statistical guy, I feel like there is a way to unleash testing in a controlled fashion across a statistically significant sample of the population, that you could be able to get. I mean, if you do it right, you can take 500 to 1,000 and get a good feel for how many people actually are infected, how many are symptomatic, how many, if you take that random sample, but if you construct the sample properly, that's representative and that's scientifically accurate. That might be a better use of a limited amount of tests to get a better feel for what it looks like across a bigger spectrum of the community. So it's difficult, though. I mean, we're in, these are decisions that are, unprecedented and weird and all that.
Yes. I'm with you, 2 frames of mind here. It should be going to people who are symptomatic and who really need it. Mm-hmm. But also I want to get tested. I want to make sure that everything is fine with me and my family and my loved ones. And I would think, this is just me recklessly speculating here, but I would think if they are opening it up to everybody, they would have enough tests for everybody, including the ones that really need it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to unleash this testing program in this sort of a way.
I don't think it's I don't think we have like just a whole bunch laying around. I think it's there's only a few, but they'll do testing until they run out, which they probably will. So yeah, where the locations around here? There's I
know the one by me is the Coliseum. So there's the Tiger Lane spot, and then there are a couple more spread out throughout the city.
Well, that's so you have those locations if you want to go get yourself tested. And I think it's something that it's up to you. Obviously, if you could do, there's probably going to be significant lines that are going to be out there, but there are remote assessment sites. There are some that you may even be able to drive to a different county potentially and do that. That's sort of up to you. The Tennessee government the state of Tennessee's got a website that is that gives you kind of a heads up on where some of these places are, so you can get a better feel for where you can go, and whether it's a drive-through or whatever it may be. So if you want to check that out, that's definitely a nice resource that they've put together for that, and you can see it. It's TN. If you will, just search for COVID-19 assessment sites, state of Tennessee. There's a long URL I could give you on the website, but it's just easier just to search assessment sites, Tennessee.
The state has a bunch in the counties, counties that aren't necessarily in the biggest of cities, or don't have the biggest of cities, not Davidson or Shelby, but some of those other surrounding counties. Tri-State Community Health Center is offering free coronavirus testing today.
I love free. Because a lot of folks, it's tough to pay for, and some of this stuff is extremely expensive, but you need it because a lot of people are out there working and putting themselves at risk, and it's not an easy task to do. You have to figure out, if you're an essential employee, if you're considered essential, and you got to go to work, you have to make that determination. Obviously, a lot of folks can't afford to not be working. You got to be careful. You could check out, again, there is, by appointment only, there's an assessment site at Case Management Incorporated, 3171 Directors Row. That's sort of South Memphis, just south of the Loop. You have the one at the Fairgrounds. You can text COVID, COVID, to 901-203-5526, 901-203-5526. Text COVID for screening and available. That's the one that CJ, you were talking about over at the Fairgrounds. If you want to get set up there, there's opportunities for you. There's the one at Church Health that's close to downtown there, that 1350 Concourse. That's by appointment only with the folks there. Also the Memphis Health Center on Crump that you can take a look at as well. And then there are some the Baptist the Baptist Operation Outreach on Jefferson downtown is another opportunity there for you to get more information. So most of the stuff in Memphis is in that neighborhood. There's also, for those of you out in the in Fayette County, the Oakland First Baptist Church, right there on Highway 64, out towards Somerville. There is a assessment site that will be Sunday, 12 to 3. So I would imagine get out there quickly. Tipton County, at Brighton High School, Highway 51. That is tomorrow, 12 to 3, up at Brighton High School as well. So that's what I mean, CJ. The testing is not going to be. That's not a big. 3 hours is not a long stretch of time. You've also got the Tipton County Health Department too as another option for you. If you go up 51 towards Covington, you can find out more information there. CJ's friends in Jackson, you can go to the Jackson Fairgrounds, Madison County. If you want to do that as well, that's an all-day deal, 9 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday. So that may, be for some of you, that may be, an even better option. A little bit longer drive, obviously, but that may end up saving you time depending on the situation at the fairgrounds and everything else. And that is no appointment needed for that. So to the Jackson Fairgrounds on South Highland in Jackson, Tennessee. So a lot of those areas out there for the West Memphis folks. There's also one in Hardin County, Saturday morning. That would be a little bit of a longer. That's like Savannah. It's like a little longer trip there, but not that much longer. And you could do that too. So just some options for you in West Tennessee if you're looking to get tested.
And some of this is because there aren't enough medically trained professionals to go around. So I feel like we are stretching the medical system to its limits right now by trying to get everybody tested.
No question. That's another aspect, and they need equipment. They need personal protective equipment, all that stuff. We don't have in huge supply. So those are good information areas for you. And a lot of those are drive up, only like the ones in Jackson, the ones we talked about in Memphis. Those are all you can stay in your car, drive through all that, which is I think they're definitely the right way to go. you need to be able to do that. That makes it a lot easier on everybody.
And just be mindful, make sure that it is a valid testing site. I don't think I've seen any reports of the fake tests going on here, but I know in Kentucky, a neighboring state, they had some issues with people setting up fake testing sites to try and get people's personal information.
I mean, I have to think just what kind of a person? Who would do that?
A bad one.
A bad one. Yeah.
Somebody who's not a good one.
I mean, but even by bad person standards, that's a real bad move. Like, even thieves and scallywags typically have a little bit of, maybe just a tiny at their core, some moral code, some little. But there's no honor among thieves, as the great Dusty Rhodes once told us. And so, I suppose that is the case. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Jalen Green situation and where things stand. We're also going to talk to our buddy Kari Thompson about that later on this morning too. And I know that in the recruiting world, this is going to make especially on the high end, especially with the types of players that Penny likes to traffic in. This is going to be a big deal.
I mean, just local players around here, Kennedy Chandler, Musa, and those two immediately came to mind like, oh, this is a new pathway for them.
It could be. We'll talk about it when we return right here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
This is CJ Hurt from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, many of you are spending all day at home, and we remind you that you can stay in touch and connected through Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, computer, phone, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. Meanwhile, keep practicing social distancing and remember to wash your hands often, and hopefully before long, we can get back to some sort of normalcy. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and Sports56WHBQ.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
You know, do what you want to do. You know, I had the kids yesterday as a science project / music project make a musical instrument out of trash. As you know, I was sort of led by this thing, but it was interesting. We took a milk jug and some stuff and made like a little horn, and it was kind of fun.
Could they hit the horn like this?
That's what that hearing that horn put me in the mind that was, but no, my horn guys did not. But we had fun though. We had fun. That was good. It was a good little exercise. You can repurpose stuff, and learn sound and why it comes out loud out of the horn end and all that stuff. You know, there's some interesting. We can do all this. There's science. Science is all around us. So they say. Also, pandemic all around us, which is science in its own way.
Stepped out in the hallway, heard somebody coughing. No clue who, but it's just.
That's why I'm not stepping out in the hallway,
I'm
man.
nervous,
man.
I'm nervous.
I'm hunkered down here in the compound. This thing is pretty well, you know, not quite airtight, but you know, it's pretty sealed off. So we got that going for us. We talked about the situation with Jalen Green. The announcement yesterday, he is not going to college at all. All that time spent recruiting. Sorry. He is going to go to the G League, but not just the G League. And it was interesting that we talked about what exactly that would mean. Like when you talk about a kid going to the G League, we were discussing like what does that even mean? Like we were talking about yesterday. Who does he go play for? Where does he get assigned? How does this whole thing work? Why would a team? What would be in it for that team to play that guy over players that they have control over? And we came to the conclusion that it really wouldn't make any sense for them. And to their credit, so did the NBA and the G League. They came to that same conclusion to say, yeah, you know what? It doesn't make any sense. This wouldn't work. What the idea that they had to pay $125,000 and to have them just be sort of allocated to the league somehow, and that just was a first draft, and it didn't really fly. You know, Malcolm Turner was the one who kind of put that together, and then he went on to be AD at Vanderbilt, and so Sharif Abdul-Rahim took over, and you know this is Sharif and Rod Strickland and other people that kind of put this thing together. The deal now for Jalen Green is going to be $500,000 plus more if he completes community service. There are community service elements of this that he has to be part of. Their charitable time and energy donations and things that he has to make with his time. If he does that, then he will get an extra bonus. So it's not really charity in that sense, but it's hopefully teaching, you know, some sort of an awareness of the community and all that, which is nice. It's a nice little bonus. There is a collegiate scholarship involved as well with this. So he gets a college scholarship when he wants to use it. That is also part of the gig. So it's not as if he's giving up the educational aspect. He's just delaying it to a different time in his life. So $500,000 plus a free college education plus potentially more bonuses based on what happens. I don't. And instead of playing in the G League proper, you're playing under on a kind of a athletes in action, traveling exhibition team sort of thing, where you and potentially the Isaiah Todds of the world, maybe Kennedy Chandler, Musa Cisse down the line, who knows. The elite prospects will be joined by veterans of the NBA and the G League who will be paid by the league to play with them and to be something of a mentor, but also that team will be heavily scouted, so they'll have an opportunity to potentially get in front of scouts and put themselves back in the mix, so there's a motivation for them to play and to be good teammates and to help these kids out. But they'll play 15, 20 exhibition games against other G League teams, against international teams, against NBA academy teams from around the world. So they may fly to Australia when this is all said and done, or somewhere else and go play against those types of come back, have lots of different experiences. It's kind of a 1 year gap year to kind of hopefully, I think the idea is to develop every aspect of their personal self, basketball wise, but also from a character standpoint, off the court, all that, and then have the back end taken care of from an educational standpoint, and keep them in a much more controlled developmental environment where most of the time they're going to be spent really learning skills and hands-on and stuff like that, with NBA quality coaches and training staffs, and not having to worry about the school stuff and all the other BS that the NCAA requires. Instead, it's basically you're just strictly about basketball, and you're making legit money, and a lot of it. In the case of these elite guys, I don't know why you would say. I don't know why you would not do that. This seems pretty straightforward. If you're Jalen Green and the offer is, hey, I can go play for Penny or go play for Bruce Pearl and not make any money, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or I can go to this and make actual legit money that's real and not sketchy, and I can do all this other stuff. I don't have to fly to Australia, and I'm making way more than those guys. That seems like a no-brainer. This to me is a game changer for at the elite end of the recruiting aspect.
Yeah, and it's something that the NBA really wanted to do. That's why they did it. But they saw talented high schoolers leaving the United States and going overseas, and you got the scouts out there trying to scout players. And it's certainly a whole hell of a lot easier to get from one place in this country to the next, as opposed to having to fly to Australia and then fly to Spain and then fly to insert other foreign league, China, wherever somebody might be. It is easier if you keep all that top-tier talent here, and it makes it much, much easier for you to get do a better job of scouting said talent. I wonder what this would mean from an international player standpoint. Could the NBA then go – and instead of having to go to, where was Giannis at? Greece somewhere? Instead of having to go to Greece to scout a Giannis, you just say, hey, come over here, play on this team, and we'll get you in front of the scouts and make everything a whole hell of a lot easier for the management in these NBA franchises.
I mean, that's the thing is I don't know if this applies to international. I assume it would, but I don't know. But certainly, whoever is eligible to be involved in this, and as you pointed out, the Kennedy Chandlers of the world are already getting phone calls from the G League folks to recruit them into this mix. Same thing with Moussa Cisse's, your top 15, top 20, top 30 type guys. If it's a legitimate opportunity and those guys can make that kind of money, maybe not even $500,000, but maybe it's $250,000, maybe it's half of that. That's still a lot of money.
And it's clean money.
I mean,
college basketball known for some strong ass offers, Peter.
Yeah, those strong ass offers are usually like $10,000 in cash and like whatever. This is legit $250,000 and honest to goodness salary. You're an actual professional, and you're getting the other holistic training. And if you're worried about the educational aspect, you're getting a college scholarship to go along with it. So what's the issue? But the NCAA has made this bed, and now they got to lie in it. You reap what you sow, as the good book says. And they've been sowing a lot of discord. They've been sowing a lot of nonsense. They've been, keeping themselves as a closed society with a bunch of nonsense rules and restrictions that are counterintuitive, keeping all the money for themselves, not finding a way to pay the players who are actually responsible for creating that wealth. Well, power to the people, power to the players in this case. So now the NCAA's got themselves a real problem. Because if you go back and watch, there have been a lot of old games on, as you know. We talked about, were you going to go back and watch an old game? Well, if you do go back and watch an old game, go back and watch that 2008 championship game, if you dare. Maybe don't watch the end of it, but watch the game itself. Look at all the talent on the court. Look at the level of play. That was just 12 years ago. Go back 20-some-odd years ago. Look at the level of play. 30 years ago, the level of play compared to the NBA wasn't that much different. Now, light years. Because the highest end of college basketball, it's not playing college basketball. Not for long, and certainly not as part of the team concept. The quality of play has degraded. So, and that's only going to continue. When you lop off the top, 1.1%, 0.5%, whatever it is, of talent. But it's the absolute pinnacle, the peak, the very tippy top. If you take those guys away, That's no doubt going to have an effect on the quality of the product as a whole. I just don't think it can fail to have a major impact. So that's it. We'll see. We'll talk about it on the other side too, what that means going forward and what it means for Penny and those guys. We'll discuss all of that when we continue here. Hour number 2 on the way. Stick around. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire-roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Hi, everybody, The Herd. Over 50 years ago, 2 men with a passion for motorsport and engineering began building race engines in an old abandoned mill. They saw an opportunity on every wide open road and an invitation in every curve. It was a chance to push the envelope, break all the rules. It was a chance to prove that a 2-ton family should have the performance to compete in a 24-hour track race. But shocking the competition and building a reputation, it wasn't enough. Their vision was to expand upon the excellence they had created. This engineering company continued to validate their belief by putting race car engines in luxury sedans and proceeded to stun the elite in world motor racing by winning and winning and winning. We may never truly understand what drives Mercedes-AMG to break barriers, along with every record in the book, but here's to allowing us to enjoy the results. Learn more at mbusa.com/AMG. Mercedes-AMG. Driving performance.
Sports 56 would like to recognize local businesses that are out there still feeding and providing for the community via curbside pickup. Let's support local business with your business. These local businesses include Shelby Forest General Store, Let It Fly, Moon Dance Grill, Great Wines, Germantown Wines and Liquors, Corks Wines and Liquors. Sports 56 appreciates the support of local businesses always, but especially during this time. Thank you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Living inside. I got something that'll sure enough set your stuff on fire.
Hour number 2 on a Funk Friday. We are providing the public service, myself and CJ, of playing music that will allow you to understand what day it is. That helps because it's not always easy in these fraught times we live in to figure out what day it actually is. So we're helping you with that. We're going to help you identify that among many other things. We've been talking about the new G League situation that is kind of changing the game potentially. We're going to talk to Kari Thompson about that coming up later on in the show. But I think this has the potential with the Jalen Green announcement yesterday that he's going to play in the G League and for this G League select group rather than go to college. But the details of this particular plan are such that it feels like the professional pathway program, the PPP. This seems like a potential game changer for the very elite team. So I know that for the Kennedy Chandlers of the world, the rising juniors and kids that are looking at this going forward, whatever happens with Jalen Green is going to affect their perception of this program. But until such time as this whole age limit is removed and guys can go straight from high school to the pros, then there's going to have to be some other alternative or some other way. And this to me makes a lot of sense. If you're going to be a professional basketball player, you should be playing basketball as much as possible. There's no requirement that you go to college for a year. I don't know what you're really getting out of that. We've talked about the nature of the college education that is often done for a lot of these players. It's perfunctory at best. I mean, Ben Simmons is a classic example of that. He had to go to college. He had to. He's not an American. He went to LSU because he had to go somewhere. But as soon as the season was over, he's just out. Like, he doesn't even pretend to be interested in the collegiate aspect. Well, and again, he didn't have to be. He's making millions of dollars.
As soon as the first semester ends, because that's it. You're eligible for the second semester. He was done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's whatever his barest minimum of effort in that regard that he had to do, he did it, and that was it. And so, but it's not just him. There's a lot of players who probably have a much more of a real interest in trying to do the collegiate thing and trying to get the education, but some of them are unable to. Some of them are not capable. Some of them have been pushed through the system in order to play sports and are not necessarily ready for college, and then they continue to get pushed through. And, they study this weird patchwork of things in college to the point where, you may even, graduate with a degree that doesn't mean anything. You don't have any sort of a skill set. You've had some kind of interdisciplinary studies or something weird that you've patchworked this thing together and you haven't really, learned. You haven't really gotten a degree that's that valuable in the workplace. So I don't know that we've taken this seriously for a lot of these higher end guys. I mean, obviously for the majority of collegiate athletes, it's an extracurricular activity. It's not going to be a professional pursuit, and it's part of their bigger educational pursuit. But we're talking about the kids that are on a pathway to the pros potentially. That's a different group. And in that group, they don't need the other stuff that goes along with college. And the NCAA has gone out of their way to make it harder, not easier. Harder for these kids, those types of players, to go to college. So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, we're in a world where there are other better alternatives now. The NCAA was living in a world where they were the only game in town, and that was the case for a long time. That's not the case anymore, and they are very slow to react. And as a result, CJ, if I'm like now, the question for me, if I'm Penny, or if I'm Bruce Pearl, if I'm Roy Williams, if I'm Mike Krzyzewski, if I whoever, am I still recruiting the same types of guys? Is it still, or do I have to now start realizing I'm competing against $500,000? I'm competing against real money. I'm competing against NBA experience. I mean, you say I'm going to bring you and I'm going to take you and make you an NBA player. Well, why wouldn't you already just be part of NBA types of people, an NBA setup? Why wouldn't I just go straight to the pros? I think this is going to be a real tricky recruiting challenge if it works the way that it's intended to.
Yeah, and to some of those coaches' credit, sure, Izzo, we'll take him as an example. Sure, Izzo has had one-and-done type players. Sure, he's had Jaren Jackson Jr., but it was a lot of upperclassmen on those Tom Izzo squads, legit upperclassmen, not sophomores, but juniors, seniors. Think about this past season with Cassius Winston and that team and how experienced they were. It is going to change how you go after that top-tier player, that, like you said, that 0.1% player, the top 15, top 20 in high school in a given class is going to change how you go after them. But the good coaches have been built and have had a lot of success with a healthy combination of supremely talented one-and-done and experienced, talented roster as well.
I just don't know if that supremely talented one is going to be part of it, though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to change your pursuit. The other component of this too is for a guy like Jalen Green that's got a pretty big name already and he's pretty well known. I'm sure LeBron's kid would be the same way.
Is he that good?
Yeah, Bronny's good.
Okay.
Yeah, Imani Bates, etc. These kids that are well known. They're in line. Jalen Green reportedly, Jonathan Givony reports that Jalen Green is in line for a 7-figure shoe deal. So you can go ahead and sign your endorsement deals, whatever endorsement deal you can get. You can go ahead and sign that while you're in the G League. So whatever money you're making, officially from a salary standpoint, just like any other player, you can also supplement that with whatever marketing and sponsorship deals you can find. Well, that again, that's a whole different deal on top of that. So if I'm Kennedy Chandler, for example, and I feel like I got my name's pretty good out there, I could sign a shoe deal. I could sign a maybe not a 7-figure shoe deal, maybe a high 6-figure shoe deal or something like that, on top of whatever salary. I mean, again, why would I wait a year when I could bank $750,000, $1 million? If I'm Moussa Cisse and I'm a fearsome shot blocker and I've got this reputation and all that stuff, and why am I waiting a year to get an extra $1 million? Why would who's turning down $500,000 or $1 million? Nobody.
Especially when it's legal. Hell, I'm in McMillions right now trying to make my way through that.
Yes.
And they're not turning down anything.
No, I'm not.
And that's illegal.
I'm not turning down $50.
50 cents.
I mean, 50 cents. You offer me.
I can give me some tater chips.
Free drink. I'm right there for it. I mean, I'm not turning. So, I think if you're Penny and your stock and trade has been the idea that you're going to recruit the very best of the best, I don't know. I think that market is changing now, and I'm not sure that the pitch that you can provide is particularly. Is not as strong at that top for that top end guy. It's not. It's not as persuasive. If my pitch is I'm gonna get you to the pros, and I'm gonna give you the best coaching and the best teaching in the process. If I look at that G League select group, and if it works for Jalen Green, I don't think that whether it's Penny or whether it's whoever, Bruce Pearl, anyone, I don't think that argument coming from a college standpoint is especially persuasive anymore. I think that's and even if there is some level of persuasion to it, there's just not that much level of money involved in it. So the NCAA, this is where they are going to have to say, okay, well maybe we allow these players to make money. Maybe we open that up. Maybe we create this market, because otherwise, I could see the top end of this thing.
When you say top end, give me a number on that top end. Are we saying 10, 15?
Yeah, I think 10 to 15 is probably in that neighborhood. I would say the top 0.5%, not even 1%. I mean, we're talking a lot less than that, but But in that neighborhood where you're talking a dozen to 2 dozen players, the very best of the best. But think about in college basketball, those are the ones that you really are, paying the most attention to. Zion and all that. I mean,
he had his own camera.
Yeah. He's the guy that you're following. There's lots and lots and lots of college basketball that was on TV this year. But how much of it was really super duper compelling? If you're a college basketball fan, if you're a fan of the team, that's not going to change, what you do. But it's going to change the amount of people and the eyeballs that are on the product. It is going to change that. And it is going to change the compelling nature of the product. If you take the top, I don't care what sport or industry it is, if you take the top 10 to 15 of that and you remove them, it's going to adversely affect whatever product it is. You take the top 10 to 15 actors in TV and you take them off of TV, you're going to still have TV and you'll still have some good shows, but they won't be as good and it won't be as interesting and won't be as much fun to watch. Same thing with movies, same thing with whatever sport you want to throw out there, same thing in industry. The top, if you sort of start lopping off the very top end of it, that's going to create an issue. And I think the other knock-on aspect of this from a college standpoint is, this should, in my mind, it will probably, as it knocks out the top end guys, it's going to also bring up the bottom. And it's going to create more of a egalitarian approach where you have a lot of different teams that potentially could be in the mix. And so maybe that's what it lacks in top end talent, it makes up for in competitiveness. Maybe that's part of the sales pitch and the college end. I don't know. I mean, we're obviously speculating to some degree about what might happen as a result of this, but it is interesting to think about what those next level effects are. It is interesting to think about what could follow, because it's this is something that has been discussed, something that has been theorized. What would happen if, all that sort of thing. But now there is an actual thing that has been outlined. It's backed, and the NBA. the timing of this is interesting too, because the NBA is dealing with, like everybody else, financial aspects related to COVID-19 and pandemic and everything else. Huge financial impacts on them, just like there are huge financial impacts on everybody. But they're still willing, because they have the money banked already, to invest these millions of dollars into this program and pay these players that much money, sign that contract. Well, okay, CJ, look at where colleges are. They're having real trouble. I mean, there's a lot of, we've already seen teams cutting, sports. Cincinnati notably cutting men's soccer earlier this week. The group of 5 schools, saying we're not going to probably be able to fund scholarships to the level that we normally would have to be considered Division I. We may not be able to have all of our programs the way that we thought if this continues, all that stuff. So you compare those two things where the money is diminishing in college sports, it adds an extra little bit to the NBA's deal too, the timing of it. I think that makes it even more of a compelling thing that they're willing to do it. It's a little bit of a risk for them, especially now, but they have the money, and I don't know that these colleges do.
This feels different than the 10, 15-year stretch when we had the one and dones, because it feels like this could be a pathway for not just the top 5 in a given class, right, but for a higher number of players to be going and beginning their professional career immediately after high school. Not just the one and dones, but the two and done guys. Why would I go to college for 2 years when
two
I
and
could
through?
Go,
we call it.
two and through. I apologize. The two and throughs. Why would I go to college when I could still get that college degree and I could get paid to be on this team and get that better NBA training as well?
That's that's where this is going to come in. This is a potential game changer for sure. Gar is dialed up on the First Bank phone lines, 360-8255. Gar, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, fellas.
What's happening?
let me throw this at you. Okay,
throw it. I'm ready. I got my
There's
glove.
a couple of. It's imminent that it's going to change the game. There's no doubt about it. But I'll throw a couple of positives at you if you want to hear them.
Sure.
Number one, it'll cause more parity in college.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I do think that's true.
Duke, Kentucky, and Kansas won't get all the best players because they'll already be gone.
For sure. I think that is for sure true. Yeah.
Which could in theory help the college game. And I'll tell you the other thing, and I don't blame Green one bit for what he's doing, but he does have risk in this. And I'll tell you the risk. Let's take Zion's college 1 year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Green would, in theory, dominate more if he went 1 year to Memphis. He could kill his career by doing this, is where I'm going. If he's overrated, it's going to be found out earlier. Does that make sense?
It does. I think that they're well aware, the talent evaluators. They're aware of kind of the situation that this is a unique deal and that he's going to be playing in games because he's not going to play a full G League season. He's only going to play against a few teams here and there. They're not playing tons of games. It's really more of a developmental type thing. So I think that teams will look at it kind of with a little bit of a glance to the side and think, we'll cut him a little slack. Like R.J. Hampton, I think he's still going to be drafted reasonably highly, even though I don't think he had a real great year in playing in Australia. And, I saw him play against the Grizzlies last October, and he just was kind of whatever, looked okay, like kind of overmatched. But he's still, it's still about potential, though. It's still about what can we do with this kid.
Okay, because I think Hampton's a good example, Peter. Don't you think he's going to make less than he would if he'd have played at Memphis?
Yeah, again, it's hard to say because I don't know if he didn't play as well because he's just not that good, or if he was in a tougher environment or all that. I think they factor that in. He had some injury issues as well in December that he dealt with that cost him the most of the year, and then he kind of just threw in the towel. So I don't know. That's a tough question, Gar. Like I think. Maybe he was overmatched. Maybe it was tough to fly out to New Zealand and to be, have your life changed and all that stuff. That's certainly a possibility. Maybe he wasn't as good as we thought. I'm not sure. At least for the kids like the G League kids now, you're staying in domestic. You're making more money. You're in a much more controlled environment. I think that's the aspect that's appealing to them now.
Yeah, I don't blame him. The last thing is, will Green get a shoe contract?
Mm-hmm. He can.
In the G League.
Yes.
Okay.
He's eligible to do
that. That's another monetary factor then that in theory you throw in there.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That you are at that point you are Gar. You are eligible because you're a professional. Because you can do whatever endorsement deal you want. Shoe contract, apparel contract, cereal, album,
an album contract,
YouTube channel, professional gaming, whatever, man, whatever you can get, whatever you can. If you can get Jalen Green-O's, then great, make that money. Jalen Green pens and pencil set, whatever it may be, get that money. You can do that because you are at this point in time. You are professional, and you are not subject to the whims of the NCAA and all the nonsense about endorsements and everything else. You are not subject to any of that. So that would be a whole different deal, and I think that is another revenue stream, as we like to say in the business. That's what you talk. That's business talk right there, CJ. That's revenue stream.
I always wanted to be a sponsor for Cocoa Puffs. I just like that cereal. Get that endorsement deal. I would work to try and make that happen. If I was talented enough that they would want me to endorse them. Just be my face on the box. Hey, everybody, eat Cocoa Puffs.
I hope someday that
I hope someday too.
They don't put faces on Cocoa Puffs.
See, I'd be an innovator.
They don't put faces.
They'd have to.
We don't put faces on cereal anymore, period, I don't think.
We do on Wheaties.
No, I don't think we do. Do we still put them?
Yeah.
Do people still eat Wheaties?
I hope not.
I haven't heard about Wheaties in a minute. We still eating Wheaties?
And I feel like if you get there, Russell is on a box of Wheaties.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hey. Eat them Wheaties.
Did you see the baby announcement?
I did.
He code switched in the middle of the announcement.
In the middle of the announcement. He's an all timer in the code switch game. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer, first ballot.
What'd you say? What do I want? What do you want? What do you want, sweet child of mine? And then Sierra said something to him. He's like, hey, baby, you know what I want. Like Russ, my God.
He does it. He doesn't even think about it. He's a natural. Some people just have it. You know, some people have gifts, code switching gifts. Some people have it. He's got it. He's tremendous. But yes, that was great. Did you see the video of the baby announcement where the guy hit his wife in the face? That was not good. With a bat. They had the ball on the tee and he swung and.
We got to stop doing those.
We got to stop.
Hashtag stop gender reveals.
Gender reveals are just not good for anybody. Not a good situation. We got a lot of people getting hurt out here. We got it's the whole
fires. Forest fires getting started, like major fires getting started.
People getting shot. Oh, for God's sake, just keep it to yourself.
Or just announce it like a regular person. Everything doesn't need a party.
We don't have to announce. Why are we even announcing it? Just know it.
Oh, you're pregnant? Yeah. What is it? A boy. There you go. Gender reveal. Done.
Announcement made. Jeez Louise. We'll come back. We'll talk our buddy Jarvo on the line. I can't wait to talk to Jarvo. I'm sure Jarvo's got some. Jarvo knows how to make money. So there's no doubt. I got to talk to get some insight on the endorsement game from old Jarvo. We'll do that when we return. Here at Sports 56 Mornings, Peter and CJ with you. Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
February has been extended through March 31st. Hi, I'm John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your heating and air conditioning system this spring? Conway Services and Carrier have teamed up to make now the perfect time. Our warehouse is full and our crews are slow, so to spark business during these slow winter months, Conway Services is giving away Carrier 80% gas furnaces absolutely free with the purchase of a standard Carrier air conditioning system. That's right, purchase a Carrier air conditioning system before March 31st and get the gas furnace absolutely free. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and and a free Nest thermostat, plus 12 months interest-free. See why I still call it February through March 31st? And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. A lot has happened overnight and just wanted to let you know we're open at Sunrise for all your automotive needs. Service, body shop, parts, and sales. Go online to sunrisememphis.com to schedule an appointment. Should you need a vehicle, we're offering 0% up to 84 months with deferred payments up to 120 days. You can shop online. We'll bring the car or truck to you. At Sunrise, we know you want to feel safe, so bring your car or truck to any Sunrise location and we'll disinfect it at no charge. Sunrise, stress-free and safe. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I mean, the horns. That's top quality horn work right there. And the horns, little. This is just what it's all about right here. Oh, there we go. Yep.
That horn gets you, man.
Horn gets you every time. It's proud. That's a proud horn right there, man. Woo! Welcome back on a Funk Friday. Yeah. This weekend coming up. Big plans. Gonna stay in the house. Might go downstairs. I might go upstairs. I don't know. I got stairs.
Doing a little bit of travel, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe watching some stuff on Netflix. I might switch over to Hulu. Yeah.
You're a party animal.
I know.
I
I'm
see
thinking
you.
about. Yeah, I know. I might get one of the latest movies. And in some form.
Big spender.
Later. Well, I don't know about spending.
Okay.
I mean, it's,
Never mind. I forgot. Never
Spending
mind.
is a whole different thing. I don't know. Nobody said anything about that. So, big weekend. And, of course, you got the Last Dance, episodes 1 and 2 coming out on Sunday, too. So, everyone's getting excited about that. Turns out Michael Jordan, not a nice guy. Who knew?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
I thought Jordan was just a delight. Turns out he was not. Seemed like a real well-adjusted dude. They got Ahmad Rashad on here on the ESPN. Ahmad is looking strange to me. I don't know what happened to Ahmad. I don't. Is he looks? He's got a little Donovan McNabb thing going on or something. Like he looks simultaneously better than I would have thought and worse than I would have thought. Like he looks younger because Ahmad's been around for a while. But so he looks younger, but he also looks worse. He's got to be. But you know what I mean? Like, doesn't he kind of have a McNabb thing going where he's got?
I think that's just the angle of the
You think it's the angle? Yeah, it could be. Well, I think it's the eyes. He's got extra little bags under the eyes.
There's no makeup on.
There's no makeup
and I'm
on.
assuming it's been a while since he's gotten the line.
But he looks. I mean, how old is Ahmad? Ahmad looks great.
I mean, isn't he married to Felicia? He's got to be 70.
He's still married to Shirley, right? Ahmad's 70. He's my birthday. He shares my birthday, which is nice. Ahmad looks great. That dude's 70? What? Wow. My God. That's crazy. I mean, it's either Ahmad or Jarvo, basically, in terms of looking good as they get on up there. I don't know. Jarvo, you still look great. I've seen the old YouTube. I've seen the old YouTube videos of you, back in the day, making the debut on Channel 5. And you look very similar, man. I'm telling you, it's impressive. Your regimen is outstanding. The skincare and whatnot.
Well, you have to have you got to have all the particular products and all that stuff lined up, ready to go.
You got to give me some. You got to give me some tips on that, Jarvo.
Soap and water, baby.
Come on, man. You and Ahmad both have good wives that are keeping you young. I think that's part of it too.
Just kind of like a little variation on what the West Memphis mayor said.
Exactly.
Stay is wash.
So what's going on, Jarvo?
I got to meet Ahmad. This is years ago. They had something called the NBC Sports Anchor Spectacular at Disney World down in Orlando.
That sounds very exciting.
I got to go down there, and they had Ahmad Rashad and several other of the top NBC sportscasters at the time. Dick Enberg was also one of the nicest guys ever. And Ahmad was there, and he was playing everything pretty cool. We get to shoot like promos for your particular station, and they would just kind of line up, and we would go through, and that was a pretty cool deal. They also let us have a day at Disney World, which is kind of fun. But the NBC Sportscaster Spectacular. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
So we go down there and cut promos and stuff like that. But that was pretty cool back in the day. But the reason I called, I was telling CJ, all these people kill me about the G League business. And I love the fans and everything, and everybody's got their own personal, feeling about it. But for the players, you got the, whether you languish or not, man, you got bank. Plus, you still get your college education
exactly.
paid for.
Yeah.
So what's not to like about that?
Exactly, but money's money. I mean, it's just.
I mean, even LSU can't compete with that.
No. Those strong ass offers from Will Wade are not $500,000.
Yeah, no, he ain't spitting that out. But I don't know, maybe he might. But one thing this will do, this is going to be a battle for the best of the rest now in college basketball. Well, that's fine because it gives other kids now a chance that we're getting passed over, a chance to really get good looks. And one thing I want to say, some people said, Memphis put all his eggs in the Jalen Green basket, and they let it be known early that that he was the top target and all that stuff. And so did Auburn, and so did everybody else. Out of Jalen Green's top 25 schools, everybody wanted him.
Yeah, of course.
But the toughest thing about that, and what people have to remember, is that why did they do that? Now they look at egg on their face. No, they don't. You go after the top guys. You got a chance to get them. I mean, heck, he even said he would have picked Memphis had this offer not come up. But the deal is, when you're recruiting somebody, and the people talk about Matthew Morrell, which I love. Matthew Morrell is a great talent. He left Whitehaven and went down to one of those, where do you go, IMG,
right.
Florida?
IMG, yep.
And then he ended up signing with Ole Miss. And kudos to the Rebels for getting him. But you can't string people along saying that, yeah, we want you. And then on the day, signing day, they drop your offer and go get the kid they really wanted. That's the other side of college recruiting that people don't think about. And, it happens a lot in football. It may happen more in football because you got many more positions to deal with. But it also happens in basketball.
Absolutely.
Where, you got your Jalen Greens and Greg Browns of the world. And then you got, a Chris Moore or somebody like that out of West Memphis is really, really, really good. And you got a good shot at getting them. But the brass ring's out there. And you're going to go after that. And you're going to string this other kid along to say that, maybe, that fell through. Now we're going to come back to you. No. Well, I mean, you get the best. Everybody's trying to get the best deal they can get, and whenever they can get it.
No question.
And so, I'm happy for Jalen Green. It sucks that he didn't come here, but he didn't go anywhere, in college.
Yeah.
So I don't feel so bad about that. Plus, we were in there for it. And, the message that they pitch is still a good message as far as Memphis is concerned. We can still get you ready for the pros. It may take a little longer, but you come here and we can still get you ready, or any other school, just to say that. You're going to be here now for a while. I think, it didn't kill college basketball when Kobe and KG and all those guys left early. T-Mac, none of them went to college. We go back to George Gervin. I don't think he went to.
No, Moses Malone didn't go to college. I mean,
Yeah, I remember seeing them playing the ABA.
Yeah.
That's how far I go back. and that was fantastic. But that didn't kill college basketball. So it's just going to be different, and it's going to be different for everybody, and everybody's going to have to change how they go after it. But it's still going to be a battle, and I think like somebody else said, it does even the playing field a little bit.
Well, and it certainly, I think it's going to give opportunities for coaches to be, coached, to like actually coach and develop chemistry over the course of, multiple years. And I think your X's and O's are going to be more important now.
Yeah, here's the deal. You see like these teams in the tournament that, the seeds like 8, 9, 10, 11, they come up and they upset some of these teams because they got juniors and seniors, and they've been playing together for a while. So they know each other's moves. They know the plays. They know the teamwork will be better eventually because you'll have guys that'll be in for a while, that'll actually get a chance to be coached and learn a system thoroughly to where the actual team play will be better. It won't be so much like you may not have the high flyers that are going in and dunking everything, but, and then you're going to have a lot of guys that are late bloomers like Jeremiah Martin and guys like that or Brandon Roy when he was in college. He was not that great the first couple of years, and boom, he exploded. So there's still going to be some great players that come out of this. Not everybody is a phenom at 18 years old, but they might be at 20,
exactly.
21 by the time they're seniors. So it's going to be all right, fans. It's going to be all right.
No, it's just going to be different. I agree. Jarvo, thank you very much.
It's going to be different. That's all it is. And I'm happy for these guys.
Me too.
Hey, if it was my son, I said, baby, I love you. But, daddy needs new shoes.
That's exactly right. Maybe your grandkids, you got a bunch of them now. So,
I'm not going to put it on my kid to make money for me. You make money for yourself. And that's, there's a business.
And then you give it to me. That's exactly right. I agree with that. 100%. That's correct.
Something like that. I'm my stimulus check.
That's like my kids are my Social Security. All right, Jarvis.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much. Our friend Jarvis Greer, of course, from Channel 5, the legend himself. Jarvo sounds like he's doing great. But why wouldn't he be? He's got Greer Manor, There's no better place in Memphis to be stuck during a quarantine than Greer Manor. I mean, that stay at home is a whole different deal when you're talking about Jarvo's situation. But he's, no one is saying, or no one should be saying at this point, at least, that it's going to kill college basketball or anything like that. That's silly. Like that's ridiculous, and that's way too overblown. But it is going to force some changes. It may hurt the top end appeal of college basketball. It may make it less appealing because you're not getting a lot of these high end dudes that you were getting. Maybe that's that makes it less of a spectacle. That's possible. So, and I think overall the quality of play just in general has kind of degraded. It's gone down to an extent. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be, is this G League product going to compete? Maybe. Is that going to be a legitimate competition? If you see enough of these dudes that are playing these games, are those games going to be, highly watched on television? I think it's hard to say. But I do think this is a potential crisis for the colleges, and if it goes well, and if they start to figure out a way to make money on this deal and they expand it out further, that's when it could become real problematic at that point. If it becomes like a legitimate, kind of a league of its own, so to speak, where all those players are playing against each other for a year under the auspices of the G League. If you can get multiple teams, and then you start to get the top 30 or 40 or 50 guys. Okay, well now it's a whole different thing. But they'd have to start making money to be able to justify that level of output, that level of cost that would cost them in the 8 figures, annually, and that they're probably not gonna sanction something like that. I wouldn't think so. But there remains to be seen whether it's going to work. But it is something new and it's something different, and that makes for I think in this case, I don't think anyone can have a lot of sympathy for college basketball. No one can have a lot of sympathy for the NCAA. I mean, go get your money. Go get your money, kids. That's the NCAA is not going to give it to you, so go get it somewhere else where you can. Who could blame anyone for wanting to make money?
You get the NCAA perks because that's the NCAA's whole thing is we'll give you an education. We'll give you a scholarship. You're getting that plus a couple $100,000 plus you get to start your endorsements and see your face on a box of Cocoa Puffs. Like you can get money and get the education. So
you do not have to choose one or the other. That's exactly right. We'll come back. We'll continue with this. We'll also get into some of the build-up. There's been so much fun and so much build-up on this Jordan documentary thing, and there's more to it. We'll discuss that when we return here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more. Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Don't miss it.
This is a commercial announcement. Did China really cover up the coronavirus outbreak? Are they telling us the full truth of where the virus came from and how many of their people were really infected? Are they also holding back critical medical supplies? Now, Greg Kelly Reports gives the shocking answers to those questions on Newsmax TV. So tune in to Greg Kelly Reports tonight on Newsmax TV. It's already the fastest growing cable news channel in America, carried on every major cable system, including DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Spectrum, Optimum, Cox, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and more. Just check your cable guide today. And don't forget to vote in Newsmax's national poll, asking Americans if they support President Trump's handling of the crisis. It's easy to vote. Just text the word OPEN to 39747. That's OPEN to 39747. Let your voice be heard about President Trump. Just text the word OPEN to 39747 and watch Newsmax TV. It's real news for real people.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
This is Peter Edmiston from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, all of us at Sports 56 urge you to please stay home, practice social distancing, and wash your hands often. While you're home, stay connected with Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, phone, computer, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. This is a tough time for everyone, but we will get through it if we all do our part. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and sports56whbq.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Cutie pie. Yes. So are you you have a DVR set for the Jordan thing?
No, I have the alarm set.
Well, yeah, you're normally asleep at that time.
Yeah.
Your sleep schedule, I don't even understand.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Although I wasn't able to take my first sleep. I was not able to take my first sleep yesterday. I think I've gotten all the sleep I can take.
I don't even know what the I don't.
You know what first sleep is.
No, I don't.
That's that time between like 3 in the afternoon and 10 at night when everybody sleeps.
3 in the afternoon and 10?
Yeah, right after lunch, because lunch is about 2. You get comfy, cozy.
What?
Lunch. Like the end of lunch time is 2.
No.
It's no longer lunchtime at 2.
No.
And then you just lay it down and you get comfy, cozy, and by 3 o'clock you're asleep, you know?
In your bed?
Or a couch, or the floor, wherever you happen to be asleep. The chair.
You can't
Whatever.
sleep on the couch for 7 hours.
Who can't?
You can't.
Who?
You
can't?
are like Winnie the Pooh. You can sleep and eat anywhere. You just
Pretty much, yes. Yes.
So the schedule you sleep from. This is true. CJ sleeps from 3 to like 10.
Mm-hmm. Roughly, give or take.
Most days. How do you even do that? That's like
I don't
prime
know.
time of living. That's prime
I
time
don't
of
know.
life. That's when
I don't know.
you're doing stuff. You're eating.
I am
dinner.
doing stuff.
You're when do you eat dinner? Is there a dinner?
There's a midnight snack. That counts.
That's your dinner if you were sleeping
Okay.
from 3
Well,
to.
then, yeah.
And then when do you actually
11.
sleep?
From 11:30 till 4.
That's like half the day. You're sleeping like 12 hours
Yeah,
a day.
I know it. I know it is.
That's a lot of sleep, man.
It is. That it is.
That's half your day.
We all handle this pandemic stress differently, man.
But you were doing this before the pandemic.
Yeah, them Grizzlies games were rough, man. You don't know how hard I was struggling to be up at 5 so I could go to the game at 6.
Your sleep is just crazy.
Yeah, I get it. I get it in.
Why don't you just why don't you sleep like why don't you go to bed like 8 and wake up at like 7 or something?
I can't make it to 8.
Or go to bed, then go to bed at like 7:30 and wake up at 5:30 or something. Like, I mean, that
I can't make it to 7:30. It's hard. I need a Red Bull just to get to 6.
I don't even know when I don't know when you do anything. When do you have time to do
things? I don't.
There's so much sleeping and the schedule. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. What? When do you hang out with your wife? Doesn't she sleep during the night?
Yeah, she sleeps at night. She's a regular person.
Well, then you don't ever see her.
I see her every now and then.
That's so strange, man.
Usually, under normal circumstances, she's not walking in the door till 5 anyway. So I get that good quick nap in and then get up and say hey to her before I walk out the door to go do something. And it's hard. It's hard.
I don't know what you're dealing with. I know that whatever quarantine or whatever situation you're in, I do know that the whole this Jordan thing has been a real deal. And I watched. They put out there's like a little 5-minute preview, and then there's like a little other preview that they put out. And man, I will say that there were a lot of emotions, coming back watching that. Like it was pretty cool. Like you could see why this is going to be a big deal. The access, the type of footage, it was like a proverbial hug. There's a ton of nostalgia, and you watch the style of play, and you watch it was pretty awesome. I could see why people are gonna lose their mind over this stuff. The what they discussed, who they're talking to, the amount of interviews, all that stuff that they did, crazy, and everyone's talking Michael, and Michael. Charles Barkley was talking. He was on their athletic podcast with David Aldridge and Big Waz. And he talked about. He said we were great friends forever. I miss Michael. I love Michael. I wish him nothing but the best. He's the greatest basketball player ever. But obviously, he didn't take kindly to some things I said about his management skills, and that's unfortunate. But I've got to do my job. And when he was asked and said, he found it. When somebody asked him and said it's hard to believe you couldn't, we couldn't convince you. Why? How could you not convince Jordan to move on? I mean, it's been 20 years or whatever. And he said, you sound like some of my friends. That can't happen because I didn't do anything wrong. I would love to be friends with Michael because, like I say, he was great to me for 20 some years, and I love him like a brother. He was like a brother to me. But our last conversation, he was not very happy with some things I was saying about him on television. Don't you have friends who you're not sure how they're going to react when you're honest with them? Especially somebody on his level. And like I said, hey, I love the dude. He's the best I've ever seen. It's unfortunate the way things went down. But I'm always going to try to do my job. And actually, my criticism was about the people around him. I thought the people he hired around him were too many yes men. That was actually my statement, to be honest. I thought the people around him, they wanted the private jet. They wanted the steak dinner. They were always going to be yes men. And Jordan took that and has cut off the relationship with Barkley for years. That's the kind of petty... And I think people, I've heard more and more, CJ, people conflating in my mind at least, conflating the two things of hyper competitive and petty and ridiculous, conflating that with being a winner. And I think those are two separate things. I think you can be a winner without being a complete jerk. You can be a winner without alienating people around you. You can be a winner without being so hard to deal with that, people are still telling stories about it years later. I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think people are putting that together and say, "Oh, you're soft," or this or that. And I don't think that has to be the case. I think that's the way he's wired, but not everyone is going to be wired that way, and not everyone is going to. Success is different for different people, and I'm not sure that's a goal that you would aspire, that you'd want your children to be like Michael Jordan. I'm not sure that that's what you would want. Maybe. I'm not sure.
You'd want that success, but not the baggage that comes along with Michael Jordan and his personality. No.
His success, the way he did it, maybe he couldn't have done it any other way. And maybe the level of success he had, that was what worked for him. But I would say, as we've talked about this before, I think that being the very best at something, whatever it is not compatible with being a normal human being. That's why I marvel at LeBron James as much as he's the athlete I most admire, probably in all of sports, because it seems to me that he is the closest to being an all-time great, elite, super elite player who is also fairly well adjusted and seemingly pretty normal with regard to his relationships with other people, his family, and etc. He seems to be able to have some boundaries where most of these guys that are extreme hyper athletes and hyper competitive and all that stuff don't. Even the Tom Brady's of the world, like he doesn't seem particularly well adjusted. He's constantly, doing football things, fighting and trying to get these supplements, and he's just consistently clawing and scratching against, Mother Nature. All that doesn't seem particularly well adjusted. It has not been good for his relationships. Obviously, it wasn't good for Michael's relationships. I think elite players of any stripe, it's hard. LeBron comes the closest. That's why I have a lot of admiration for him in that regard. But I don't think in general being great is compatible with being a normal human being, because most normal human beings don't spend 8-10 hours a day doing one thing. Nor should you. I don't think you'd want your kids to do that, whatever it is.
That's why it's so hard for me. I spend 10, 12 hours sleep a
well,
day.
You are an elite sleeper.
It is hard for me to be a well-adjusted person. I'm one of the greatest sleepers you've ever come across in your life.
I mean, you are top 1% of sleepers. Do you sleep hard? Are you like, if I walk in your
house? As hell? What do you mean? That's the only way to sleep.
So I can walk in your house and basically just walk around, sit down, and you right next to you, and you're not going to wake up. You're going to be.
If you walked in, I'd raise my head, be like, "Oh, why are you here?" You would tell me like, "Oh, okay," and I'd lay down and go back to sleep. Hey, don't mind me. I'm just sleeping. You need anything? It's in the kitchen. Good night.
So you can go right back to sleep.
I can go right back.
If you wake up, you're right back to
right back.
Man, I got none of that. I don't sleep much, and then it's hard for me to go back to sleep if somebody wakes me up.
I'm a koala bear, man. I can get 20 hours of sleep in a day.
Big cat. That's what cats do. That's a big cat, man. Tigers, lions sleep 18, 20 hours a day.
Your people ruin that analogy for me, so I'm going to stick with koala bears. Do they have chlamydia? Sure, but I'd rather be a koala bear in these times than a tiger right now.
Koala bears have chlamydia?
Do they?
Do they ever?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
Is that a thing people know?
Yes, I think we know that. I know all the veterinarian scientists know that. Google it.
Why do koalas have chlamydia? That sounds like a joke. Why do koalas have chlamydia? That's a fun riddle. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why do they get it? Why the heck do so many koalas have chlamydia is the name of this article.
So sometimes they eat pap, a nutritious type of feces from the mother, and that has it in there.
Stop. No more of that. Thank you. That phrase that you just said is not a real phrase. Again, that's not a real thing, and I don't want to hear about this anymore. No, we didn't. What do you mean? My people ruined Tiger? That's not my people. Just one outpost of my people. They're not great. I'll grant you that.
They ruined Tigers for me. I'll never look at a tiger the same way. Not Tigger. Not Big Tigger.
Come on, man. The wild ones are still out there wilding. That's good. Just think of it like that.
Even those, I'll be thinking about, man, what would happen if Doc Antle got a hold to this majestic beast?
I mean, but Doc Antle could get a hold of koalas.
He hasn't, though.
But he could. And then
he hasn't.
If he does.
But if he does.
He's a koala king. It's over. All right. We'll take a break. Hour number 3 on the way. When we come back, we'll talk to our buddy, Kari Thompson, about the Jalen Green stuff and about what that means for Kennedy Chandler, Musa Cisse, and all that when we return. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means the prescription medication to treat ED is super affordable at 4hims.com. And now get your first online doctor's visit free at 4hims.com. That's right. Zero copay, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. That's really good news. To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/joy.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quick. quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Texter says, I made a hole-in-one a few years ago in Arizona, and Michael Jordan was at a foursome in back of me. And one of the first to congratulate me after the round, I bought him a beer. Nice guy and a good golfer. You bought Jordan a beer?
Why would you buy Jordan a beer?
Jordan a beer? Come on, man. Make him buy you a brewery.
He's got 2.1 billion. He can certainly buy a beer for you.
At least a beer. He can buy a round for everybody. But that is the rule, you know. If you
I'm unaware. Oh, wait, no, that's right. If you get a hole-in-one, you got to buy everybody a beer.
That's right. Which I never understood that rule.
That's backwards.
It's a weird, yeah. I think it'd be the other way around, but, you know, I guess you're trying to celebrate. But there are clubs that have hole-in-one insurance, you know, where you plop a few bucks in on a just on the off chance that you get a hole-in-one, and that way you don't have to pay like $500 to
I feel like I was speaking with Greg Hines.
I think Greg Hines, yeah.
And he explained it to try and the reason he gave me was because you don't want a bunch of people claiming to have gotten hole-in-ones. So that is to ensure that you actually got that hole-in-one.
I mean,
I could be wrong.
That's why I don't talk about it, because I've had so many, but I don't want to bankrupt myself. So I keep that on the low. But that's the deal.
Was it Kim Jong-un who kept getting the hole-in-ones?
Yeah, unbelievable.
He must have bought so much beer.
Yeah, I think he shot like a 26 or something on an 18-hole, something like that. I think it was an incredible round. He's a great golfer. I mean, you've got to give him that. The guy is phenomenal golfer. Let me see what the score was. What his, because he really was like phenomenal. Yeah, he made 5 holes in one in this round.
Whoa.
Yep. It was a 38 under. He shot a 34. Actually, is the number on a par 72. So 38 under par. According to the North Korean state accounts. This was a few years ago. The first round he'd ever played. First time he ever played, he had 5 holes in one.
Whoa. He had how many?
5.
First time he ever played?
First time out.
Whew.
I mean, this was fantastic. He said, and this guy for Golf Magazine, he went over. He was able to go to North Korea to try to find out more about the story, and he asked the guy that was one of the guys that was there, allegedly one of the caddies who was part of this, and he said he was a staggering golf talent, possessed of an enchantingly rhythmic swing. But he said that actually, as it turns out, the scorekeeper had relied on a relative to par system, marking down 0 for pars, 1 for bogeys, and 2 for double bogeys. So they read the 5 ones as a 5 holes in one. Rather than 5 bogeys, which he probably didn't get 5 bogeys, but you know. So 5 holes in one. That's a shame. He did not shoot a 38. Even by their standards.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thanks for getting to the bottom of that for me, because I was really thinking, why didn't Kim Jong get on PGA?
I know. Maybe he still can. I mean, if you shoot that well, even in your first round of golf, that's still pretty good.
Well, a little bit of practice, yeah.
Absolutely. Kari Thompson joins us, great golfer in his own right. How are you, Kari?
I'm doing great, Peter. Let me tell you, there's not much sweeter than the taste of a cold beer after a hole-in-one, man.
Oh, and I'm sure you know all about that, right?
Well, at the WGC last year, Kevin Tway hit a
that's right.
hole-in-one and came through with beers for the whole media. So I was like, okay, Kevin Tway is now my new favorite golfer. Let's go.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. He did. Yeah, he had the big cooler. It was like for my friends in the media. Here you go. I'm sure you spent a few $100 on all those. Very nice. And I'm sure you drank your fair share. Did you drink just one, or did you go for some more?
You know, you gotta drink one there, but grab one for the road for sure. Not the road, but like, you know what I mean, like grab one for the road.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I get. Man, it's a good thing you're quarantined at this point. All right, so what's this whole G League thing we've been talking about, Kari? Of course, you as somebody who's on the prep scene, you're covering the recruiting trail. We got some kids here locally that are very interesting prospects to the G League, in addition to colleges. And now with Jalen Green having made his announcement that he's committing to the G League's professional pathway program, which would entail him joining a team, not an existing G League team, but like an exhibition sort of team, a traveling team comprised of other top prospects and some veteran players coached by probably Sam Mitchell, I'm guessing, former Tiger assistant's going to be the coach. And you'll have guys like Rod Strickland that are around on the development side, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, who's the leader of the G League. He will make $500,000 plus potential bonuses related to community service and other aspects. Going to get a full college scholarship when he decides he wants to use it, and endorsement opportunities so that he could take advantage of along the line. It's a big deal, Kari, in the recruiting world. What impact is this going to have?
Well, it just opens the door for another option, especially if you're an elite prospect like a James Wiseman or a Jalen Green. Obviously not everybody's going to get the deal that Jalen Green got because he's the number 3 overall prospect in the country. So if you're a top 5 kid who people view as a virtual lottery pick, then you might be able to be compensated very nicely on top of a free college education, as we see with Jalen Green. But if you're not, you still have the opportunity, if you want, to go get cash and play basketball and not have to play a year of college for free. I'm still saying it's for free because I don't count a scholarship as actual compensation. So you can go and actually get compensated for your work instead of playing this charade of being an amateur athlete.
Well, that's the thing. So now with like him being compensated for his work and Jalen Green, getting a lot of money. I know you had reported that Kennedy Chandler. They've talked to Kennedy Chandler about the G League potentially. I'm sure Moussa Cisse would be very much interesting to them as well. A lot of the other guys in this class, the kid Kareem Maine or Mane.
Yep.
I would say Maine because he needs to be in Memphis. Maine.
Yeah.
He's a Memphis Maine, but maybe not. These kids now, I know it's going to be different for each of them. But this has to become a much more appealing prospect now that it seems to be reality.
Right. I talked to Kennedy about it because I was like, let's see what Kennedy thinks about all this. And I talked to Kylan too. So basically, Kylan said it's Kennedy's decision whether he goes to college or goes to the G League. And he said that for now he's like, man, we're going to college. But he also said, who's to say what happens a year from now, which I think is a fair point. What Kennedy
because
said,
Jalen Green said, as of 2 months ago that he was going to go to college for sure. In January, he said, "I'm going to college." I know people have talked about this, but I'm going for college. So I think what the kids are saying right now is not necessarily reflective of what may actually happen.
Right. So Kennedy is saying right now that he's going to college. Obviously, he's a junior. He has high school next year, so his decision's a ways away. But, I mean, when you look at the deal Jalen Green got, it's like he's getting the free education anyway if he wants it. But he's getting free education plus $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how's the NCAA really going to compete with that for the top guys? Now, Kennedy's not a top 5 guy, but he's a top 15 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what his deal looks like? But I'd imagine, like, I don't know. There's something to be said for the college experience, just because college is its own world, and it's an enjoyable time. Education is also very important, but if I can go back later and get the education plus have cash now, especially knowing what we know about a lot of athletes coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, I think it's a very attractive option. So that's another piece to what Kennedy, what Kylan was saying. He's like, we're not hurting for anything. We don't need the cash. He's like, Kennedy's going to make the right move because it's the right move. So, the other interesting piece that Kylan brought up, that, I think Kentucky's been doing for a while, but he's saying, like, basically all the schools have been telling him now is, like, if you leave early, as long as you're in good standing, your scholarship lasts after you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come back and get an education if you want to. So that's a big sticking point for college, is that, if you go to a Duke, and you leave on good standing, you say you go to the league after a year or two, you can come back and get that degree. So that's a point for the colleges. But I mean, landmark move for Jalen Green, and the G League. It's great for them actually getting real talent. I mean, I think Jalen Green is someone that you would tune in to watch. I mean, imagine, having a Jalen Green on the hustle, man. Like, that would be crazy. I would watch that. And it's a big move for Jalen because it's like, he's actually getting real compensation, sort of relative to what he's worth at this point. And it's people always throw out the money figure, but it's also a 1-year development program.
Well, that's the part. That's the part that's different to me. Is we talked about the idea of being money and all that, and that's cool. Like, I mean, that definitely happens. But like, some of the issues that people had in the previous iteration of the high school going straight to pro thing, you obviously had a lot of guys that were very successful. Your Kobe's, Tracy McGrady's, and KG's, and all that. I mean, LeBron. Those dudes were fantastic and would have been fantastic no matter what. But you had a lot of other dudes that came out who were not nearly as fantastic and did not do well and flamed out and had some trouble in their life, like the Leon Smiths of the world and all that. So this is a way to kind of bridge that gap. If you do it right, you are able to actually pay these guys, even though they're 18, they should be allowed to make money. You can pay them. Not necessarily full market value. I mean, that would still be determined. But for a lot of kids, it's full market value, especially for the kids probably like Kennedy Chandler, who wouldn't necessarily be a lottery pick type guy. Jalen Green would be. He may be the number 1 pick in this draft, actually, if he were in the draft right now, based on how this draft is going to go. But so he's not making market value, but some of the other guys would be. But not only that, it's more about the fact that you're not just a regular G League player. You know what I mean, Kari? You're not just going to be on the hustle playing a 50-game G League schedule, flying to, wherever else you're going to go to the Iowa and to Maine and to these other places and playing in these gyms and all that. No, you're going to be developed. You're going to be getting developmental coaching. You're going to play against an international squad. You're going to take trips. They have a community service component. Where you're going to get a bonus for doing a certain amount of community service. So you're learning, that aspect of it. As you mentioned, you still have the college scholarship that you're going to get when you decide you want to use it. So it's kind of a holistic development program where you're not just plopping a kid down in the middle of the G League and saying, hey, there, go join the Santa Cruz Warriors. Because, like we talked about yesterday, if you drop Jalen Green on the hustle, okay, well, that's cool. Like, that's going to be fun and interesting. But Memphis has no chance to draft him. They're not going to draft him. The Grizzlies, because of where they were in the draft, it's highly unlikely next year that they would be so bad that they would be in the mix for Jalen Green. So if they know they're not going to get him, why are they going to have their development people spend time developing him? Developing him for what? For who? You're gonna play him over players that you've drafted. You're gonna play him over players that you are paying, and you have skin in the game. You're guys that are on two-way contracts or guys that are second or third round picks or free agents or whatever. No. So this way actually makes the most sense where those kids are actually going to play.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk for me, man. I mean, the money plus the education. My only thing is, like, you can't get those years back of 18, 19, being in college. That would be my only hang up with this, is that, it's almost like, you don't want to grow up too fast and become a pro at 17, 18, 19. But it's different if you're a Jalen Green type because, it's,
yeah, but I told you, if I said you can go back and take those years that you spent at Hampton, and I said, okay, I take those years away, Kari, but I give you $2 million. I mean, that's because that's a legit possibility for some of these kids. I gotta tell, yeah.
You give me $500,000.
No, but I mean, but you're also for like Jalen Green. He's in line for a 7-figure shoe endorsement that starts next year. So now that the time value of money being what it is, $500,000 in the bank or in an investment when you're 18. By the time you're 22, if you do it right, that's made you some money. By the time you're 30, it's really made you some money, and on down the line. Plus, you add that 7 figures of a shoe deal or an apparel deal, and okay, now you're for the big time dudes. You're really talking. So, I think it's way more than $500,000 for the biggest of the big.
Plus, the most underrated aspect of it that we haven't mentioned, you don't have to go to class.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly right.
You don't have to go to class. You don't have to pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're just about basketball, you're just about basketball.
That's right.
I mean, there's a level of like transparency about all of this now that I think this new option that the G League brings, which is just interesting. Because not everybody's going to college purely for the educational aspect. Man.
No.
This is majoring in basketball.
You're going, but why does anybody go to college, Kari? You go to college, generally speaking, unless you are, in an academic pursuit, you're like a researcher or something to that effect. You're going to be, in academia. Otherwise, generally speaking, most people go to college in order to facilitate getting a job and making money. And so if you can get a job and make money prior to going to college, then why cut out the middleman? What are you doing?
There you go.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem that difficult. And if you're a kid, like, I think for like with Kennedy Chandler talking to you, and I read your piece in the Commercial Appeal about it, and Kyle, and same thing. Like, a lot of it is somewhat theoretical at this point. So I get why they're saying, like, okay, we're gonna. But if somebody comes to Kennedy with a concrete offer, and it may not even be $500,000, maybe $250,000 or something, but there's opportunities for endorsements. There's other opportunities for all this stuff, and that goes up against a collegiate offer for 1 year either way. If somebody puts that money on the table, somebody comes up to me with a briefcase full of cash and says, here's $250,000, that's a pretty compelling. I find it hard to believe that too many kids are going to turn down actual, real, legitimate 6-figure money to say, no, I'm going to go to college for a year. I find it hard to believe that anyone would say no to a legitimate G League offer like that.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you. You know what I'm saying? It's a strong offer.
It's a strong ass offer. You're right. It's a real strong.
Yeah, I wanted to say it.
Yeah. You could say it. You could say it. That's okay. You could say it.
I wanted to weight it, man. But yeah. It's a strong ass offer, man. Like
it is. It is.
It's actually stronger than a strong ass offer, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Stronger than the one that Will Wade was talking about, certainly. But now the NCAA is going to have to respond here, and in particular because of the timing of this, the NCAA and the teams that are in these conferences are dealing with the same economic issues that everybody is. I mean, it's a very difficult economic time for these organizations and for schools right now. So with the NBA plumping up this amount of money at this time, it's particularly problematic because if anything, the NCAA is cutting back. They're not inclined to open up the cash and open up money for these kids. And that's, listen, to me, you reap what you sow. It's been heading in this direction for a long time. So yeah, there you go.
Waited too long, man. I mean, they could have did this years ago, but they wanted to keep their stranglehold on the monopoly. They wanted to keep getting that free labor. They wanted to have dudes like Jalen Green playing for the whatever school he was going to pick for free, like for Memphis for free. I'm sure Memphis fans would like that, but it's not the best possible option for these kids.
One of the interesting things too, the other thing too is that I know, and you're dealing with folks on the ground here, but like I think most of the fan reaction that I've seen, I think if this had been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, most of the fan reaction would have been like, I can't believe these kids. They don't get it. I mean, they just take a little money now, but really, what about the college experience and blah blah blah. And that, for the most part, I've seen. I mean, to me, it seems like it's 80-20 or 90-10 in favor of like, oh yeah, absolutely, you should go get the money. That's a great decision. It makes sense for him, and no one seems to be even a little bit irritated with Jalen Green, which to me tells me how much the NCAA has screwed this thing up.
Yeah, that and the fact that the G League is offering a comprehensive option. But I think the difference is the G League is not just saying, "Oh, here's a $1 cash Jalen Green. What are you going to do?" The G League is saying, like you were talking about, we're going to take your Jalen Green. We're going to invest in you. We are going to do what we can to make sure you succeed. And then, on top of that, if you want to in the future, you can still go to school. Like, that option was not on the table as a D-League days.
Right.
And I think that is a major difference in public opinion because you're not truly making the choice. I mean, you're choosing to not go to college right now if you're Jalen Green. You're not choosing to never go to college.
No.
You're choosing, hey, when my time in the league is done, maybe I can go back and get my degree. So that choice is very different from saying, oh, here's $500,000, Jalen Green. Do you value that over education?
Absolutely. And I think that's it's always to me been a false choice that the NCAA has asked these players to make, and now it's just confirmed that it's definitely a false choice for them. There's no reason that they have to choose one over the other. There's no reason for that. You can have your education and you can have this other thing if you want it. You can go back. You can do whatever. For Penny and for those guys that really have kind of prided themselves on recruiting and getting the elites of the elites, Kari, what do they do now? Because to me, it seems like the value of a coach as a recruiter, especially at the very top, tippy top end, I think that's going to go down a little bit as the quality of the recruit goes down if this becomes a widespread thing. And I think the value of being an X's and O's coach kind of goes up.
Right. I would say you focus on your development on your end.
Right.
You focus on becoming a great developmental coach and you build the program. And that's the thing that people forget about this Memphis basketball program is that, everyone's like, oh, they didn't get Jalen Green. Oh, they might not get Greg Brown. But they had the number one recruiting class last year. Yes, James and Pressure are going to be gone. But you have a pretty good team coming back. And, to me, that's the key, man. You focus on your 4-year guys. Like, you focus on, your ALOs and your box advantages, and you grow them into, those college guys. And, it's almost going back to the old school, if you ask me. Because, you got to really build a program because, if I'm saying great, I like Memphis, but I don't like it $500,000 worth better than,
exactly
where else.
Exactly.
So you gotta focus on developing these guys, which is part of Penny's pitch, but it's obviously different because you're not going to have the James Wiseman now. I mean, you didn't have James this year anyway, but you're not going to have, the James and the Jalen to mold into that NBA fit, you're going to have to work with your actual guys that you got, and you'll bring in a couple. Not everyone's going to go to G League deals, but it's the development game now. How strong the program and the culture can you bring, and that's really the way it is in the pros too. I mean, the Patriots aren't who they are without their culture. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's it. Kari, thank you. Appreciate it, bud. You staying safe? You doing your thing? What's your quarantine plan here?
Man, staying in the crib, playing home, interviewing people over the phone, We got to flatten the curve.
Okay, that's right. Flatten the curve, says Kari. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, bud. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate you.
All right. Kari Thompson joining us from the Commercial Appeals he does every Friday at _Kari Thompson on your Twitter box. We'll come back. Lots more to get to as we continue here. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
This is CJ Hurt from Sports 56 Mornings. During this coronavirus pandemic, many of you are spending all day at home, and we remind you that you can stay in touch and connected through Sports 56. Turn us on your radio, computer, phone, or smart speaker and stay up to date and connected. Meanwhile, keep practicing social distancing and remember to wash your hands often, and hopefully before long, we can get back to some sort of normalcy. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected with Sports 56 and Sports56WHBQ.com.
This is a commercial announcement. Did China really cover up the coronavirus outbreak? Are they telling us the full truth of where the virus came from and how many of their people were really infected? Are they also holding back critical medical supplies? Now, Greg Kelly Reports gives the shocking answers to those questions on Newsmax TV. So tune into Greg Kelly Reports tonight on Newsmax TV. It's already the fastest growing cable news channel in America, carried on every major cable system, including DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Spectrum, Optimum, Cox, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, WOW, and more. Just check your cable guide today. And don't forget to vote in Newsmax's national poll, asking Americans if they support President Trump's handling of the crisis. It's easy to vote. Just text the word OPEN to 39747. That's OPEN to 39747. Let your voice be heard about President Trump. Just text the word OPEN to 39747 and watch Newsmax TV. It's real news for real people.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Hey, sports fans, you already know the Butcher Shop has been a great Memphis tradition since 1981, and it still is. The Butcher Shop is absolutely open for your takeout with curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery because the Butcher Shop is still serving your favorite steaks, fish, and seafood. But now you can also pick them up raw and take them home to cook. You get the highest quality from the Butcher Shop and the comfort of home cooking. All wine and beer selections can be sold and picked up curbside as well. Plus, order curbside and pickup and receive 10% off your food order. And how about Burger Fridays? Treat your company to lunch, and the Butcher Shop will deliver Hamburger Friday any day of the week with all the fixins for just a minimum $250 order. The Butcher Shop is here for you, so don't worry about getting a great meal. The Butcher Shop has cooked or uncooked meals for curbside pickup or Grubhub delivery. Call 757-4244 or online at thebutchershop.com. The Butcher Shop at the Agri Center, Walnut Grove, and Germantown Parkway. Sports 56 would like to recognize local businesses that are out there still feeding and providing for the community via curbside pickup. Let's support local business with your business. These local businesses include Shelby Forest General Store, Let It Fly, Moon Dance Grill, Great Wines, Germantown Wines and Liquors, Corks Wines and Liquors, Sports 56 appreciates the support of local businesses always, but especially during this time. Thank you.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
She's mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a bread. You know, CJ, we got a we got the draft tonight.
The who?
The draft is tonight.
The WNBA one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know who's that first pick, right?
Sabrina. Easily.
She's pretty amazing. She's certainly going to go to the New York Liberty. Got a new logo.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm. They do. They're going with a rebuild, the Liberty build. But Sabrina Ionescu, if you've not watched her play, she's legit. Kobe, one of Kobe's proteges in the game, and he took a particular interest in her because of her hyper competitiveness. She's a trash talker. She's a one woman show. If you have not watched her play, she is awesome. Former Oregon Ducks. Ducks can probably go 1-2 in this WNBA draft. With Satu Sabali, their small forward, in the mix as well. There's a very, very good team for sure. And they've got another woman who will likely go top 10 as well. So we're talking about 3 top 10 picks from that squad. But Sabrina's the one. You ever watch her play?
Yeah, I caught a couple of games.
I mean, she almost averaged a triple-double. She was 18, 9, and 9.
She's good. She's really good.
She's really, really good.
Like jumps all the way off of the screen when you watch her play.
Yeah.
I had no clue what she looked like, and after the first 2 or 3 possessions, like, oh, that's her. That's the one that's really good right there. Yeah. Very clearly, it is you.
Yeah, she's gonna be a big star, and she's going to New York. So that's another nice little thing for the WNBA and for the league. So if you like drafts, even if you're not necessarily a WNBA fan, but you like drafts. Drafts are fun to watch. I've told you this before. I watched the gaming league draft. The NBA's NBA 2K league. I watched that draft. I'll watch a draft. You draft somebody in some sport, I'll watch it. NHL, I'll watch the NHL draft. I'll watch the MLB draft. I don't really know what's going on, but I'll watch it. So, yeah, I'm going to watch WNBA draft tonight. I like any draft activity. And then next week, of course, you've got the NFL draft. And word on the street, CJ, is that the Dolphins, according to Adam Schefter, decided to try to sneak Tua Tagovailoa to Miami on the night before the lockdown, when the league halted visits between prospects and teams. Miami tried to sneak Tua in March 12th before all this happened, and so they could not actually do that. They saw him at the combine as everyone did, but they have not been able to bring him in for a special visit. So they, like you, were very curious about Tua's hip. We're very curious about Tua's ankles. We're very curious about Tua's health and well-being. But they've got the 5th pick as it stands right now. They are expected to take a quarterback, and Joe Burrow is not going to be there. So if you're taking a quarterback, I know you've already said he's a 4th or 5th round talent in terms of your.
You asked me when I would take it.
Yeah, because you're deducting heavily for injury concerns.
And sure things available, yes.
So if you are, but let's just say that's not going to happen, and let's say that his health is going to be, he's not going to be a complete health bust. Like, he might have some injuries here and there, but he's not going to be just a total flame out. Like, he'll play some. The way that most quarterbacks would play, and they might have some injuries, but he'll be in that frame of mind. I can't guarantee he's going to play 16 games a year every year and all that, but he'll play reasonably. If I put him there, if I tell you that, do you take him over Herbert and the other potential quarterbacks at that spot?
Yeah, I would take him over the other quarterback, certainly, if you told me that.
Would you take him over Burrow? If I told you he was going to be,
if you told me that,
if I said he's going to be reasonably healthy, like he's not going to have unusual injury situations in his career.
Yeah, if you told me that also, I would consider taking him over, but not consider. I would take him over.
You take him over Burrow.
I would take him over Burrow from a quarterback standpoint. Yeah, I would. He would be the first quarterback for me off the board.
That's I've kind of gone back and forth on that one. Burrow, I think is so. I mean, Burrow is really, really good. I do wonder a little bit about the system. That's my only caveat with Burrow. Burrow, he's a tremendous decision maker, super accurate, making all the throws, all that stuff. Like there's nothing not to like. The only concern is based on his performance jump from having been put into a system that was really designed for him. Is that going to be what's going to happen in Cincinnati? Are you going to see him, being able to play in that kind of a system or anything close to it, really, where it's going to emphasize his skills? That's the part I don't know. And so I'm not saying he's purely a system quarterback. I still think he's going to be fine. But is he a number one overall pick if you take that into consideration relative to Tua? Is he that much better? I'm not sure that he is. And, I think, again, health is such a huge factor for Tua. That's why Miami was scrambling to get his information. That's why so many other teams have been doing the same thing, trying to figure out what they can. It's particularly difficult in this kind of environment not to be able to have Tua come visit your team and not to be able to have your team doctors take a closer look at him physically. You have to some degree, take the word for what you've been able to see at the combine, which is not all that much. And whatever medical evaluations that he can get and send to those teams via all the other forms of communication that we're dealing with right now. All that stuff, is that enough for you as an organization? When you're really investing a lot, when you pick a quarterback top 5, you are investing a lot. You're pushing all the chips in on this guy. Is that enough? It makes for a very tricky decision. And while I don't know that I share your view that we're talking pushing him down, several rounds and all that, I do think you have to be. It's a big question between Tua and Herbert in terms of is Herbert's more of the quote unquote sure thing.
I don't feel like Herbert is a sure thing.
I mean, I think those teams will think of him
okay.
that way. I agree. I don't think he is either. But I think those teams will think of it. I get a lot of Bortles vibes from Justin Herbert.
Same here.
Yeah, a lot of Bortles vibes.
Locker was another one that came to mind. Jake
Big,
Locker.
tall,
yeah.
like
and
looks like
say
the
it,
yeah.
but Paxton. Like,
yeah.
Like
absolutely.
looks like he's a good quarterback, but isn't.
He's got all the makings of what scouts love. I just have never been blown away by Herbert at any really very, very rarely in college was I just like, yep, this looks. Say Locker was the same. I mean, Locker's is a really good comparison. He looked and he had scouts that just like Todd McShay just loved Jake Locker, was just constantly talking Jake Locker. And you could see it, you could understand it. He's a big, tall dude, got strong arm, all that stuff. But the whole was less than the sum of its parts. It just didn't all come together to make that great quarterback. Bortles was the same, where you're like, man, this dude is huge. He's a big dude. He's 6'5". He can sling it around, all this stuff, and it just never came together. I don't know that it's gonna, come together for Herbert either. That's why ultimately I would take Tua, and I would feel, if I were a team like the Chargers, for example, I would take Tua. I feel good about that because I feel like I would have Tyrod Taylor to kind of he could play right out of the gate, and then I could kind of ease Tua in. and get a feel for him physically and all that stuff, and then we could sort of make that thing happen. There could be a transition that would make some sense. But if I took Tua to be my guy right out of the gate, I feel like that, from a physical standpoint, would be a tough situation. It would put a lot of pressure on him that might not necessarily, especially because we just don't know. Physically, the teams may not have a real good feel for what's going to happen until they get him in their building, which may take a while because of all the travel restrictions and everything else that's gone on. So that's where, like, having a quote unquote sure thing like Herbert, even if the talent level's not there, that there is some appeal to that in this climate because everything else is so up in the air. And if you add to all the uncertainty that you've got with your team and everything else anyway, you add to that the injury uncertainty and possibility that this Tua thing could be, something long term or something that's an ongoing problem for him throughout his career. I can understand why you would push him off your board. I can get that. I am heartened by the fact that I've heard less and less about Washington trying to make some kind of move for him. I feel like there's some adults in the room that have kind of taken over the draft a little bit and said, look, guys, the Chase Young, just take Chase Young. He's real good. Just take him. It's not that hard. Don't complicate this. Like, that dude's, he's probably the best player in the draft overall. He's probably the biggest talent in the draft. And he's going to be there because the Bengals are certainly going to take Joe Burrow. So just take him and just be done with it. Like, don't make this more
Don't
difficult.
ketchup as a smoothie, this thing, man.
Exactly.
Just be logical.
Just,
ketchup is not a smoothie.
Hot dog is not a sandwich. Ketchup is not a smoothie.
Well, ketchup is certainly not a smoothie. We can discuss that hot dog thing at a later date.
There's nothing to discuss. It's not a sandwich. I mean, just because it's between a bun.
It's meat
Yeah.
between two slabs of bread.
It's not bread. It's not bread. It's a bun.
It's not bread.
Bun is not. Bun
It's
is not.
bun-
bread,
bun is
and
not
that's it.
bread.
Bun is not bread.
What is a bun?
It's a bun.
It's
Is
it's
a
a
hamburger,
type of bread.
Is a hamburger
yes,
sandwich?
that's another sandwich.
No.
Yes, it's a hamburger sandwich. Yes,
No, it's just
absolutely.
a hamburger. It's a hamburger. If I say I'm going to give you a sandwich, you think, what do you think? Bread, like normal slices of bread.
Bread, meat,
with
cheese.
something inside of something between the two. Yeah. That's not. We don't know.
With the exception of peanut butter and jelly.
If I said sandwich and I handed you a hot dog, you'd say, no, this is a hot dog. You wouldn't say, oh, thanks for the sandwich. You would note.
Thanks for the hot dog sandwich.
No, you wouldn't say that. No,
Yes,
you'd
you
be like,
would.
you'd be like, I asked for a sandwich. I didn't ask for a hot dog. You don't say, hey, I'm gonna go to this sandwich place over here. Hey, what kind of sandwich you want? Hot dog? They sell sandwiches at. They sell hot dogs at Subway? No, they sell.
I didn't know Subway was the pinnacle of sandwiches.
Pick what Lenny's, Jersey Mike's, what are the Jersey Subs, whatever the deal is. Pick one, any of them.
Definition of a sandwich: an item of food consisting of two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them.
Yeah, great.
Eaten as a light meal. That's a sandwich. It's a sandwich.
Yeah, again, two pieces of bread. Buns. We're not talking about buns here. Those are bread items, but they're not bread. Again, you don't refer to
what aisle is the bread on? What aisle are buns on? Are they not on the bread aisle?
Yeah, they're in the bakery aisle, but you don't say like I'm gonna go get a loaf of bread and come back with hot dog buns. No, that's buns. You ask for those have a name. We have a name for those. We don't say, hey, I'm gonna go get some bread and you come back with hamburger buns. No, if you say I'm gonna go get some hamburger buns, I'm gonna get hamburger buns. I'm gonna go get hot dog buns. If you say I'm gonna go get bread, you come back with a loaf of bread, sliced most likely. That's what you come back with. And if there's anything other than that, you have to specify it. Just like if you say sandwich, unless you specify that it's something else, it's two slices of regular bread, whatever type of bread you're talking about, with something else in between it. You would not bring somebody a hot dog if they ask for a sandwich and say, look, you asked for meat between two slices of bread. Here you go.
All breads aren't buns, but all buns are bread. A bun is a type of bread.
Correct.
It is a type of.
Yes. But that's why we've specified, because it's not.
Yes, but it's the same type of thing, though. It is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a sandwich.
Again,
long story short, it's a sandwich.
Again, it's not, because the technicality of it is it's technically whatever, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the case. There's a colloquial usage that we deal with here that's totally different. It's a totally different thing.
If I asked you for a sandwich and you gave me a hot dog, I'd be very, very grateful.
I
thank you for the hot dog sandwich.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No,
thank you very much for my hot dog sandwich. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Yes, I would. I'm grateful, Peter.
No.
I am.
I mean, you might be grateful, but you would be confused. You'd be like, well, thanks, I appreciate it. Like, what the hell is this guy doing? That's what you'd say. And I would get it. I would understand that. No one is going to turn down a free hot dog. But I'm just saying you'd be confused.
Certainly not a free hot dog sandwich.
If you'd ask for no, that's not a phrase. No one says that. No one's ever said that before.
Everybody calls it a hot dog sandwich. What do you mean?
Literally, no one has ever said that before. Why is it that between this and the going to the bathroom thing, you pick this time of the show to just really bring some terrible takes? I don't understand what's going on. Where's this? Why now? Why does this happen now? I don't get it. Here, we're gonna come back. We're gonna text in on the 67129. There's nothing.
Wasn't this time of the show when we discussed the Sour Patch Kids also?
Yes.
I must be getting hungry around this time.
Or sleepy. You're probably sleepy right now.
It is almost time for my first sleep, man. I got like 4 hours left of productivity before I go to sleep.
Brain starts getting crazy. I don't know what's happening. We'll be back after this. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Fiveash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Pastor Chris from Living Testimonies in Somerville, Tennessee invites you and your loved ones every Sunday on Sports 56 to praise God and worship with us from 10 to 11 a.m. on AM 560, FM 87.7, and FM 96.1. I have recently attended Living Testimonies in Somerville. What really touched my heart is the love and joy of Christ I felt from their faith-filled community, and the music was very anointed, a real revival on the way. If you feel alone or need a Holy Spirit booster shot, like you're standing on the glory spout of the living water, join us this Sunday from 10 to 11 a.m. and worship with us. Every person is a living testimony. Thank you, Pastor Chris, and your beautiful holy community of love and light in Christ. And if you have a prayer request, please call 731-443-4100. We will pray with you over the phone. God bless you.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope. Don't miss out on anything. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
What?
My bad.
Just nothing? Just going dry. Okay.
I don't know what happened. I know I had a song pulled up.
Well.
Oh, that's what happened.
I know what happened. It didn't play.
Ow! There we go.
Okay.
Ow!
Okay.
Smash that!
What?
I'm back!
I had a song pulled up. The internet was doing weird stuff too.
Yep. What?
Get up off of that thing and stand to do better. What? Get up
Well, there was an interesting study, since we were talking about the Jalen Green situation and players, basketball players getting an opportunity potentially to go to the G League and make some money rather than go to play college. College football players, there was an Ohio State economics study led by Professor Trevon Logan that'll be just published in the Journal of Sports Economics, tried to examine what each recruit was worth to a school's revenue. This is going from the years 2002 to 2012. And what the determination was that there is a financial value. 5-star recruit is worth, on average, $650,000 per year financially to the college program, or at least over that stretch of 10 years. That was the determination based on this, that each 5-star was worth about half a win per season. But that obviously changes based on which team the 5-star played for. You know, if Tua had gone to Rutgers or Nebraska or something, that would have been different than going to Alabama. You know, you go to a place where you've won 6 or 7 games, or a place where you've won 2 or 3, versus a place where you won 11 or 12 prior to you showing up. That would have been a whole different thing. That being said, each 5-star was worth, no matter what school it was about $650,000. Each 4-star recruit was worth around $200,000 or so. And in terms of a revenue increase, the 5-star increased revenue by nearly $200,000. 4-star recruits increased revenue by nearly $90,000. The study also found that each 2-star recruit cost his school $13,000 per year. So there you go. So what this kind of, this is kind of, I suppose it follows what you would think logically about it, that these players do in fact attract, if you get the very best of the best, the ones that are going to, win you games and be 5-star type guys, that's going to attract more money, more revenue to your school, which then is going to make everyone at the school a little bit extra money. The other kids, you are ultimately paying them to, at least from a scholarship standpoint, the school's profit and loss, you're paying for them. Now, that's part of the gig, right? But you are paying for them, and like in every, this is true of any whatever professional team you want to go out there. In the NFL, your top level dudes are the ones that are driving more winning. The other guys may not necessarily make money. Each of your the guys that comprise your 53-man roster, I'm not sure that every one of them is going to make your team money. But that's kind of how the sport works. So I don't think any of this is necessarily a surprise. To put a price tag on it, $650,000, that sounds about right. But that goes along in line with what we're talking about with a guy like Jalen Green making $500,000 at the G League level. Now, obviously, basketball is different than football, but I think the money aspect of it is the same. And to start putting financial numbers on this, to start putting actual money on this, to be able to give people a little bit of a framework for what these players actually are worth, I think that's valuable going forward. And we're going to see that more and more. Whenever we get out of all this stuff with the quarantine and all that, and we figure out the new reality, part of the new reality, I think, is going to be more and more, and NCAA is going to have to figure out a way to pay these players, because the revenue model is no longer effective. Not anymore. We got to get out of here. Hope you had a good one.
It's nap time.
I know you got to get to sleep. I don't know what you're thinking. How are you still awake right now? I can't even imagine. We'll talk again next week. Everybody, be good.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales.